This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Yes, Flash Dance. Welcome to DBL. It is Friday, January 15th. I'm Tori here with Al and Lindsay in studio. It is lovely to see you.
I came back to Christmas gifts and I'm like, where have I been?
I know.
It's like Valentine's Day.
But Al, you heard her come back from the back of the studio and all you hear is a giggle and you're like, yes.
Yes, Lindsay's here.
She's here. We're glad to have you. Well, big news, as I'm sure you all know, in just 5 days, President-elect Joe Biden will be sworn in. And at the White House yesterday, as the Trumps prepare to move out of the famous home, staff packed up boxes of documents and loaded them into moving vans. They were also seen taking this sculpture of Abraham Lincoln. It's the Abraham Lincoln bust, famously from the White House. Also, someone else packed up this stuffed bird So in less than a week, President Trump will be out of office, and no matter which side of the aisle you're on, we're talking to you both. Chances are we're not going to be seeing all of the colorful headlines that came with the Trump presidency. So the question we have for you today is the country ready for a more typical politician? And how do you think life will change? For me, less anxiety medication. I'm being super honest. What do you think, Linz?
I mean, politics and leaders of our country are not meant to be entertainers. They're not meant to be, you know, the host of Celebrity Apprentice. So we actually are going to just see some normal, hopefully, decision making and responsibility. And I'm looking forward to just like not waking up every day wondering what tweet is going to go out and offend a group of people. So I'm really excited about more calm, even if it is considered quote unquote boring. I'm actually excited for boring.
You're excited for boring. What about you?
I can't even believe we have to talk about this. It's so interesting that I think because so few Americans, and I consider myself definitely in this group as a former comedian, current, former, whatever.
You're current.
You know, I didn't know much about politics, so I think when you don't know much about something, you just want to be entertained by it because you don't really know that much. That's why on football shows, they kind of try and make you, they don't get into the X's and O's of everything. But I think we all see now how serious it is and how you need somebody that knows what they're doing. And being a career politician isn't a bad thing. I don't want somebody trying something out for the first time with somebody's health care, you know? So I'm fine with whatever we're calling boring. I'm cool with that.
I also don't want to just say that we're going to go into Joe Biden presidency and have like this beautiful road that's well paved and nothing goes wrong, because there are already a lot of people and groups that want to hold him accountable for different things that he may be promised or hasn't promised yet on the campaign trail. And so I think there's going to be a lot of work to be done, and it won't be as calm as we all think.
You're absolutely right. It won't be as calm. But I will say this, for me at least, I think what we now call, it's called a doom scroll or doom scrolling. And really it's for both parties.
What that is.
It's when you scroll through Twitter or any kind of thing, and it's just like you never stop, and you're just always looking at what the next big moment was. It used to be the news would come on in an hour, and then you'd miss it, or you'd get back to it tomorrow. And now it's every second there's like a new scandal. So for me, I know that's not great for me. This is on both sides. This is not a Republican Democratic issue. The height of the anger and divisiveness really got to me, and I think my doom scrolling, like my finger would scroll until it hurt. So I'm excited for that, but something that really is good that I think the Trump administration brought is what you guys all said is we're all a little bit smarter, I think, about the political process.
Oh, definitely.
And I think we're all a little more interested. We saw a voter surge. So although the curtain was sort of pulled back, I kind of got my nerd excitement going because everyone was talking, like Jeff was talking about like Pelosi and Schumer and the Tea Party. And I was like, whoa, I never thought we would see that. So in that point, I guess it's good we're involved, but I'm glad we're kind of stepping back a little.
Yeah, same.
Okay, good. Let us know, please, what you feel. A lot of people saying...
And Tori, can you give our viewers a second to mourn your finger? I mean, there's people going through real tough times, but I feel like I'm glad that you held that back until today and not burden our viewer with your index finger. And it's time that you know, just let the people know what you go through as well.
It was just it was a hard strain, just a sprain.
Now, is it the tip or the base?
It was just both the joint, really, right here.
Going too far.
All right. Well, let's move on to this. I don't know if y'all have seen this. I'm so mad at Al right now because I meant it as like a metaphor. An Olympic gold medalist is in some really hot water. Speaking of water, he's a swimmer. Good one, Tor. Cleet Keller, who you can see photographs here. He is from the Capitol riots last week. He's even wearing his Team USA jacket. Wow. Well, he turned himself in to federal authorities yesterday and was charged with 3 crimes related to his involvement. Now, Keller's the 3-time Olympic swimmer. There he is. He earned 5 medals over his career, including a couple of gold medals for our team, Team USA. Now, some are saying if he's convicted, he should lose those Olympic medals. And DBL Nation, we want to know what you think. Is this fair? Go to dblvote.com. Tell us what you think. We've seen Marion Jones lose medals. We've seen Lance Armstrong lose Tour de France, like 18,000 of them because he won them all. What do you think, Al, about this? And do you think that Cleet should keep medals even if he goes to jail?
I don't. That's not. Those medals should be gone. But that should be the least. I think we have a bigger concern here. And I think as I look at somebody like that, I looked at him. I was like, you definitely don't listen to hip hop. And here's what I mean about that. If you look at rappers, a lot of guys that do street stuff, They have nicknames: Little Smoke, Big This, Mr. Get That Money. And the reason they have that is not for branding. It's so if their friends get asked, hey, have you seen this person? You're like, I don't know who Lindsay is. I know who this is. Do you have nicknames because you don't want to get caught?
Plausible deniability.
So you don't wear your Team USA jacket or FaceTime while you're doing crimes. If you listen to more hip-hop, which would be more inclusive, which we would all win, you would also know not to alert the country to your first, middle, and last name.
To be honest with you, someone wrote a meme that I saw that said, it's funny that they didn't even wear masks because they were protesting, but it would have covered them as they committed these crimes. Like, even that they didn't do. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I thought of something that I saw online. I'm not going to repeat. Give people anxiety. But I just, like, you went and won all these medals on behalf of the USA and were this patriotic, or did this patriotic thing that we consider the Olympics widely everywhere for every country when they participate. And then you go to the Capitol and do one of the most unpatriotic things that we've seen in modern history. And so I think he should lose them before he even gets convicted. Like, why were you there? That your activity was illegal. If you were in the building, that's also illegal and trespassing. So you're breaking the laws and putting people that are leading our country in danger.
So should, like, Harvey Weinstein lose all his Oscars?
I don't think, I mean, I don't think
right,
it matters.
Do we go that way to everything?
Unless we're going to not air his movies, and I think a lot of people would have problems with that. You know, we would lose Pulp Fiction and things like that. Not Kill Bill, I think he did. I mean,
Good
he did
Will
everything.
Hunting,
Everything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a thing that we'd have to discuss. But the example of the Olympics and the example of this young man, Lindsay, for what you're talking about, this is a person that thinks he's patriotic for his America. And this is what we're constantly seeing, is that the things that the people that they consider America don't look like everybody. They look like the people in that Capitol, and everybody else is other, and they're trying to expel them.
And that's why he wore the USA, you're saying, because he felt what he was doing, which we at the show highly condone. We don't see it that way, but to him, he was doing something patriotic, is what you're saying.
But when you look at the result and see that someone died and that people got COVID and that people got hurt, somebody killed themselves, like, you have to understand that.
Two people killed themselves.
Right, you have to understand that what you're saying does not make any sense.
I know.
People that are actually American citizens were killed, and so how is that patriotic?
Well, Jeff disagrees with us, McGraphica. He says it's an achievement that he won. They're not taking my high school art ribbons away if I got caught jaywalking. I don't think that's comparable. I don't think any of those two things.
Yeah, jaywalking generally doesn't leave anybody getting killed.
Yeah,
the person
I think that's
that gets
fair.
hit by a car. So.
Interesting. Well, let's take a look at our votes here. Wow. Okay. So pretty even, almost split. 56% of you say yes. That's not a huge majority. That's like margin of error right there. All right. Well, I'm going to work on my finger. Coming up on DBL, Tiger Woods' other woman, Rachel Yucatel. She's breaking her silence for the first time in 10 years and tells Erica all about it. And we've all been there, forgetting our password to an online account. It is so frustrating. But imagine if you had millions of dollars at stake. Yeah, it's a real-life nightmare for this guy, and we'll tell you all about it coming up next. Welcome back to DBL. All right, well, here's something we can all relate to. Have you ever forgotten your password?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just taking a moment. It happens to a lot of us. It really frustrates me, but it's turned out to be a very expensive problem for one man. Stefan Thomas says he has around $260 million worth of Bitcoin. The digital currency is stashed on a small hard drive. Here's the thing, though. He forgot the password to the device, and he only has 2 more tries to get it right before he loses access forever. It also means all that cryptocurrency would be whipped out. Here's what he told NBC all about it.
Just like lay in bed and come up with a new way to recover it, and then wouldn't work, and then I would try another way and it wouldn't work either. It's not like I barely don't remember it. It's there's no chance of remembering something that complicated from 10 years ago.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's, first of all, reactions, Lindsay, to that?
Is there not a person, a company to call and get to the bottom of this?
Right?
That just seems a little bit crazy. Even with,
Like, just call the company.
Lindsay is such a black mom. Call the company.
call them.
You're sending a handwritten letter to Bitcoin. I am very disappointed.
Dear Mr. Bitcoin.
Okay, I gotta say, I just had a similar experience when I was home for the holidays. So basically, I've been asking my mom for her HBO password for about a year. Because like you and I, Tori, we're cheapskates, and we find ways to cut corners. And so one way is using my mom's HBO.
Of course.
How embarrassing.
I'm embarrassed. I'm a grown woman.
Everyone uses their parents'
No,
HBO.
they don't.
Yeah, they do. Go ahead.
Either way, she would not find out the password. And so all this time, I've been not having HBO, and finally, this is why I didn't watch Game of Thrones, by the way. And finally, she went, and when I was home, I made her call HBO or call Cablevision, whatever provider she had, and we got to the bottom of what is the owner password on the entire account. And finally, I can watch HBO.
So, like, there has to be an answer.
Password.
What's that?
Why don't you just change the
My
password?
mom doesn't like use the computer to change password. She like my dad calls
Apparently
American
neither
Airlines.
do you, because you're typing like this. So I
never took the proper typing
apple
classes
doesn't fall
either, so I
far.
type with two fingers.
Does this hurt your fingers when you do this?
Basically,
Can I just say, I don't think, first of all, 2 words to this guy, hypnotherapy.
Oh,
I think he should go
okay.
deep under, like get the world's best hypnotherapist and get him to go deep into
I don't
a weird
disagree with
place
this. It's
and let that go.
8390.
Something, yeah, just like, but somebody that's like legit, not like a.
Or he can ask our mentalist that always
Wayne
comes
Hoffman, if you're listening, this guy needs some help. Also, yeah, you'd think there's a master like password to get into the hard drive.
Also, I think this dude has got money. Otherwise, he would have been sobbing during that.
Yeah,
segment.
he's too calm.
He's got on a $1,000 suit. Yeah, he's fine.
Well, we did want to let you guys know about Bitcoin. It's a digital currency type of thing, and it is so popular and hot right now. I don't 100% get it, like the cloud. You know what I mean? How no one gets the cloud.
You described it as a digital currency type thing. So that kind of let our viewers know that that's about where your knowledge ended.
Don't just like worry about purchasing Bitcoin.
Kind of situation if you want to get into it.
The stock today, one stock is $35,000 today. That's crazy.
You know, I listened to Kevin O'Leary and I asked him, does he invest in Bitcoin? He said, absolutely not.
Yep. Oh, no.
A lot of people do not take risk on these newer things. Even Warren Buffett says the same thing. These are like very trendy.
But they're kind of old school.
Right, they're generational.
Exactly.
Right. Wow. Well, we'll get back to that money kind of thing. Coming up on DBL, from tabloid fodder to redemption, Erica's chatting with Rachel Yucatel about her infamous affair with Tiger Woods, why she's clearing the air now.
Electric coins.
Ladies, what's the first thing you take off when
Welcome back to DBL. 10 years ago, Rachel Yucatel was a household name thanks to her affair with Tiger Woods. Now she's telling her side of the story in a two-part HBO documentary that I'm watching called Tiger. Erica talked with her earlier in today's DBL Spotlight.
I was unfaithful. I had affairs. I cheated.
Rachel Yucatel, girl. Your name has appeared in the tabloids probably more times over the decades than you would like, but you're here to tell your side of the story and to set the record straight. I mean, it's really hard to believe that it's been 10 years since news broke of your affair with Tiger Woods. What has happened in the past 10 years? Like, how did it all go down for you 10 years ago?
My life was somewhat private, and then, you know, to see yourself all over every tabloid, all the way to Australia to India, really, and everything from, you know, people gossiping about the way you look to who you're dating. You know, it becomes a very different life. And then not only was it for public fodder 10 years ago, but all the way until today, you know, so it's really changed my life.
So what has the backlash been like? Because I think there was a misconception by a lot of people that you were enjoying this, quote, 15 minutes, but this has been 10 years. So there had to have been a lot of backlash on your end.
Well, there's nothing enjoyable about it. I think that people think it's enjoyable to be in the spotlight, but not when people are talking about you in such a negative way. To not be able to get credible jobs, to not be able to sustain relationships that are credible because you have such a stigma about you. I think people should really try that before they like to comment. For 10 years, I've gotten the anger of everybody that's ever been cheated on, you know, every woman scorned, man scorned. And at some point you say, okay, enough. I deserve to have a voice.
Here he was in my bed, and he was my Tiger.
What is your biggest intention, or what are you hoping to achieve by speaking out this one time?
In the absence of truth, people create an idea of who I am and what happened. And I think that's been really unfair to me and really unfair to the situation. And there shouldn't be any judgment after, you know, they see the documentary. Hopefully, I can get out of this cloud of being so threatening to everybody. That was really, you know, all there was to it.
But you weren't the only woman that Tiger Woods was involved with in an extramarital affair before ending his marriage. Why do you think that people focus so much on you?
So I think the focus remained on me was because I was the only one that didn't speak. I think everyone else, there was more facts to, right? You know, so there was the waitress and there was the porn star, and then there was me, who there was all these different things about me that other people had written about, and I had never really come out and said my own story.
So in the 10-year saga, do you have any regrets?
Everything I've ever been through makes me who I am. And I am a really, really, really strong person. And I know some major lessons because of who I am. And, you know, I don't want to live as a discount version of myself anymore, and I refuse to do so. So I am not going to live in the first act of my life anymore, and I'm going to choose to go into the second act of my life. And I would like my own comeback story. And I think that other people have gotten theirs, and I'd like to have my own.
Well, Rachel, you could tell, I really appreciate you spending time with us on DBL. I appreciate your transparency. And, you know, you're not going to please everybody, and everybody's always going to have something to say. But the fact that you are taking ownership over your story, especially on your way to your comeback, is something I can appreciate. And anyone who's had a major setback in their life might be able to find some appreciation and grace in that too. So thank you, Rachel. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Don't miss the rest of Rachel's emotional story in part 2 of Tiger, airing this Sunday on HBO. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
If you're eligible...
Welcome back to DBL. More people are considering traveling this year after the pandemic put plans on hold last year. So we're sharing, the top searched destinations on today's DBL Drive, sponsored by CarShield. So one of the most searched destinations is Anchorage, Alaska.
Ooh.
Okay, I don't know, Alaska. Okay. Known for its outdoor activities and national parks, another top spot, I've looked at this, Key West, Florida, making it clear they want to be in the sun and on the beach. The #1 spot searched is the Virgin Islands.
Been there before.
Yeah, me too. I love it. Another sign people are looking to unwind.
And also, you don't need a passport to go there, to the U.S. side.
Whoa.
Yes, there's a U.S. Virgin Islands and a British Virgin
That's right. I've only been to I don't know which one. When it comes to traveling for peace of mind, get an auto protection plan with CarShield. CarShield protects their members from the high cost of auto repairs. Call 1-800-505-9619 for a free quote. Okay, I have to read you guys this. This is so funny. A lot of you wrote in about Bitcoin, and it's more like digital gold, if that makes sense. There's like a finite amount of Bitcoin, okay? That's as much as I'm getting. Yeah, isn't that right, Michael Dean? Yeah. So get this. Ray's Vibe, who I love, says, if I had a Bitcoin, for every time someone tried to explain Bitcoins to me, I'd have a lot of Bitcoins and no idea what to do with them.
I love Ray's Vibe. He's always has something funny to say.
DBL's new every day. We'll see you Monday, same time, same place. Bye, guys.
Talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
Heading out of town. President Trump's team is packing up his stuff and starting the move out of the White House. Now, 4 years later, what will life be like without him at the helm as Joe Biden prepares to take over? An Olympic swimmer is facing federal charges for participating in the Capitol riot. Should he lose his medals over this? Country music star Jennifer Nettles gives us the scoop on judging a new extreme talent show.
It is something that I have never been able to see in one place before.
What's it like sharing the stage with Snoop Dogg?
You got all of my attention now.
You know him from those funny Progressive insurance commercials.
Do we really need a sign to live, laugh, and love?
Yes.
The answer is no.
The man behind the perfect deadpan delivery of Dr. Rick is on our show today.
You woke up early. No one cares.
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2,
Welcome to DBL. It is Friday, January 15th. I'm Sam here with Jeff and Erica. Tori joining us from home. Let's get right to it because in just 5 days, President-elect Joe Biden will be sworn in. And at the White House yesterday, take a look here. As the Trumps prepare to move out of the famous home, staff packed up boxes of documents and loaded them into moving vans. They were also seen taking this sculpture of Abraham Lincoln out of the White House, as well as this stuffed bird. Interesting. So in less than a week, President Trump will be out of office, and no matter which side of the aisle you are on, chances are we are not going to be seeing all of the colorful and controversial headlines that came with the Trump presidency. So the question is the country ready for a more typical politician? And how do you think life will change? I'd love to hear your comments, DBL Nation. Write in. We always love to hear from you. Erica, how do you think life will change?
You know, I think people are exhausted. To be quite honest. And I think the idea of a typical politician, it might be refreshing to some people. I just know no matter how much you are ready to fight, you only have so much fight in you. And I think it's time that we stop the fight.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be like people suddenly expect, you know, when New Year's strikes, their life is going to change for the year and everything's going to be better. I think people are thinking that with Joe Biden's presidency. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's definitely not going to happen on Wednesday, whatever it is. My question is to everybody is like, what are the American people going to do? All these people that spend hours on social media complaining to their friends, where is all that anger going to go, right? If Trump is gone, there's nothing to complain about. It doesn't mean you just let go and all that anger is gone and you don't spend time on social media. It's going to be redirected to another spot.
Right.
So where would my guess? I'm scared to see where that's going to go.
I don't think he's going anywhere. And Tori, jump in here. I think, listen, I know that he's been silenced on most social media platforms. I think someone is going to give Trump a platform, or he will find a way to have a platform. When we saw those riots at the Capitol, Tori, we did not see thousands of people holding American flags. We saw thousands of people holding Trump flags. So I don't think he and his supporters are going to all of a sudden be silenced. I also don't think that we should expect this wonderful awakening when Biden comes into office. We still, all as constituents, need to hold Biden accountable to some of his campaign promises and some of his promises once he gets into office. But what do you think, Tori?
Yeah, it's not going to be a rosy glow. I totally agree. And Trump will create his own platform. Get ready for the Trump platform. He'll brand it himself, so don't worry about that. My big thing is, one, to me, the doom scrolling, I can stop for a little bit. If you guys don't know what that is, it's when you're just sort of addicted to Twitter because things happen now every 5 minutes, or there's another tweet or another problem or a scandal, and you get kind of addicted to that. I hope I can put that to rest. That's not healthy for anyone, and it makes me really anxious. The second thing, though, that's actually really good that happened, Sam, is people pulled back the curtain on politics and learned a lot. Voter registration is way up the political process people are involved with. People are now running. So in some ways, it inspired a lot of people to get involved with things that I'm nerdy about, but I didn't know anyone else was. So in some ways, that's a good thing.
Do you think there will be a new normal, or a normal that we were once used to a decade ago, or do you think that's long gone? Maybe because of social media, to Jeff's point.
Well, I agree with Tori. Like, we've seen the wizard, so I don't think that we're going to go back. But I did think what Jeff was saying earlier was interesting, because I've always asked this question. A lot of people have, you know, created platforms based on their support of an individual person, not the party. So if you are a person who has gone all in on this presidency, I've always asked, well, what will happen in 4, or if your best case scenario would be 8 years, because you've put your support behind a person and not the party or true politics. So that is going to be an interesting thing to watch for a lot of people.
Yeah, great points. I'm getting so many comments right now. I think we're going to have to go through them, and then perhaps in a couple of blocks, which I guess that's television talk, but soon I can read your comments. But I do want to go through them all because we were getting so many. Okay, so an Olympic gold medalist is in hot water. Cleet Keller, who you can see here in photographs from the Capitol riots last week, Was even wearing his Team USA jacket. Yeah, he's also very tall, very, very tall, so people spotted him right away. Well, he turned himself into federal authorities yesterday and was charged with 3 crimes related to his involvement. Keller is a 3-time Olympic swimmer. He earned 5 medals over his career, including a couple of gold medals for Team USA. Now, some are saying if he's convicted, he should lose his Olympic medals. DBL Nation, we want to hear from you on this one. Do you think that's fair? Is that going too far, or is that to the consequences that he should suffer? Go to dblvote.com. Tell us what you think. Jeff, what do you make of this?
You know, Sam, I could go either way with this. So whichever way you guys are going to go, I'll go the opposite. But I'll just start off on the opposite. If you take away his medals, that doesn't mean he did not earn them at the time, right? I just immediately go to O.J. Simpson. He won the Heisman Trophy in 1968. You could take away that trophy from him. You could take away that object, but ultimately he earned that trophy in 1968. So my question is, if you take away those gold medals, they're worth something. They're worth value. Who gets them? Does the government take them? And do you get paid back for what they're worth? Or I don't know how that works.
I have some inside baseball on this one. I don't think he knows where his medals are. So I swam with him.
Which is a problem.
Yeah. So
you swam with him.
I swam. Now listen, I swam for Team UCLA. He swam for USC during the same times. We were always around the same circle. I do not know him personally, but that swimming community at that level is very close-knit, and you all know of each other. I could say it to that point. What I can lend is I know that after the Olympics, like many athletes, they lose their identity. They don't know what to do with themselves. And with him, it hit him hard. So within the swimming community, we all knew that he became homeless. We all knew that he lost his medals. Maybe he sold his medals. This is all just what I know from that community. This is not in any way, shape, or form trying to paint him in a sympathetic light. Let me get that clear. So I don't know if he knows where his medals are. I do know that he made a comeback, so to speak. A couple of years ago, he's in Colorado Springs, was a realtor. I did check in to see if he's still a realtor at that site, and he's no longer employed by them. So from what I would understand, it looks like they fired him or he resigned. He also just didn't turn himself into authorities. I should say that. It was his team members that I know, that turned him in. So when they saw that video, they knew exactly it was him, and his team members, people that knew him, turned him in. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, next time you got that kind of information, just dish it out. I just was babbling for no reason.
Your point is going back to your point, because that's what everybody's talking about today. Should he keep these medals? Listen, and I don't say this lightly, considering that I know all the blood, sweat, and tears it took for him to get those medals and to get to that level. I think he should have his medals stripped, considering that there's already a precedent. If there wasn't a precedent, right? So there's been athletes that have done far less than him that have had their medals stripped. So because there's a precedent, he should have his medals stripped. Also, when you look at that footage, Tori, he's in the rotunda and he's pushing back against law enforcement. So we all know what happened that day. We all know that officers lost their lives that day. So this is, there's got to be very, very, very stiff consequences.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because the people that are going to make the decision are the International Olympic Committee. I think I'm correct on that, Sam. And what's interesting is they're going to let us know if his medals do get stripped, what the global community feels about the Capitol riots. We haven't heard from the world, and this might be the first sense that the world is condemning them by stripping him of those medals.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Where do we go, though? Like, listen, I'm all for taking away those medals, right? I'm not putting up a case against it. But how far do we go with this, right? Do we go back in time with Oscars, Grammys, with everything?
Right. I think when we're really having this conversation, it's not about the actual physical thing. You know, it's not like any of us really know, like, well, I know it's not in his bookshelf anymore. You know, it's about the symbolism of the idea that he embarrassed his country. And not only did that act, but wearing the Team USA jacket.
Yeah, the USA. Yeah.
Like, it's such a smack in the face. If I was one of his teammates, I would have driven him to the FBI.
Yeah, he's been pretty disenfranchised for a long time, according to a lot of his close friends. So, sad, really is sad, and I hope he faces the full prosecution of the law, because he deserves it. 52% of you believe that he should lose his Olympic medals. We love hearing from you, DBL Nation. Thank you. Oh, he should not. Wow, 52% disagree with us. Okay, you know what? That is A-okay.
It's par for the course.
Tori, don't go away. Coming up on DBL, Lori Loughlin's husband wants out of jail early. Are you kidding me? We'll tell you why. Plus, singer Jennifer Nettles is telling us all about her new competition show, Go Big, where supersized talent is king, and we've all been there, forgetting our password to an online account. But imagine if you had millions of dollars at stake. It's a real-life nightmare for one guy. We'll tell you all about it next. Welcome back to DBL. Here's something we can all relate to. Have you ever forgotten your password? Oh yeah, many times every day. Well, here's the thing. It's turned into a very expensive problem for one man. Stefan Thomas says he had around $260 million worth of Bitcoin. The digital currency is stashed in a small hard drive, but here's the thing. He's forgotten the password to the device, and he only has 2 more tries to get it right before he loses access forever. It also means all that cryptocurrency would be wiped out clean.
Sounds like a Nicolas Cage movie.
Here's what he told NBC about it.
Just like lay in bed and come up with a new way to recover it, and then wouldn't work, and then I would try another way and it wouldn't work either. It's not like I barely don't remember it. It's there's no chance of remembering something that complicated from 10 years ago.
Wow. What would you do, Jeff?
First of all, here's what I would do. If I had $260 million in a bank, I wouldn't wait 10 years to check on it. I make a bet on my app that for $4, and I wake up in the middle of the night, I'm like, did I win?
But so it just became really, really lucrative, right? So, and apparently with Bitcoin, you have 10 chances to crack this code. Think of it like a safe, because if you were to have some sort of call center to help you find your password, it would lose its value because it's currency. So you have to think of it like money and a safe. And if you lose that password, you're never going to crack into that safe.
Call the Russians. They're good at hacking stuff.
Well, no one, but you're not supposed to ever tell anybody your password. There is no setup for it. You come up with the password and then it never leaves you. Otherwise, you makes you vulnerable to hackers. But Tori, you get 10 tries. He's tried 8 times. He's got 2 more chances. 2 more. What would you do?
I guess, to be honest with you, and Al Jackson gave me this idea, I'd go to hypnotherapy. I would try to go back to the time and the smells and the songs of 10 years ago, maybe the thong song or something, and get into that mode and remember the password. Otherwise, I would just hate myself.
You're asking Tori opinions about remembering things?
The thong song.
Yeah.
How did that get in here?
What would you do, Erica?
Because 10 years ago. 10 years ago.
I get it, Tor. I get it. Yeah, I would be despondent. I don't know how he even did the interview, because I'd be like, this is a sign, just take me now, Lord Jesus.
I know.
What
he
in
must
the
have
world?
a ton of money. A ton of money.
Yeah.
Hey.
For to be like, you know, 260 million, I mean, come on, I would lose my mind.
Can we go back to Tori for a second on hypnotherapy? Yes. Tori, why don't you go so you remember where your badge is every day?
Yeah, I should.
No comment. No comment.
Coming up on DBL, divorce pandemic style. Did Mary-Kate Olsen really call it quits with her husband over Zoom? And it's the competition show that's perfect escape for the new year. Jennifer Nettles tells Tori all about it, coming up next. Welcome back to DBL. You know Jennifer Nettles as one half of Sugarland, but the country music star is so much more. She acts, does Broadway, and now she's a celebrity judge for a brand new talent show. She told Tori about her newest gig earlier in today's Chatting with the Stars.
Joining us is the super talented Jennifer Nettles. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to Daily Blast Live. I'm super excited to talk about Go Big Show, but as a fan, I know you're outspoken about some current issues, and I just wanted to check in and see how you're holding up in this crazy week.
Yeah, it is a crazy week, isn't it? I mean, I think everybody during this pandemic, our lives have gotten smaller in some ways and super challenged in others. And to be able to watch everything as it unfolds, in many ways, it hurts your heart, you know, to see what has been happening in this country. I hope that we can, you know, get a vaccine rollout that is efficient and effective so that we can all get back to doing the things that we love and focusing on positive things like Go Big Show, for example. And you know, and make the changes we need to make in the meantime.
Amen to that. All right, I love, first off, your new song with Bon Jovi, also about getting through the pandemic. 15 years ago, when you two first got together, you were just an up-and-coming star. What was it like this time around with Bon Jovi?
I I think second time twice is sweet. You know, he reached out to me and said, hey, would you like to join me on this song? And I heard the song and thought that it was perfect and so appropriate for where we are right now in the world, really. You know, with the message being, when you can't do what you normally do, everybody needs to do what they can to help each other. And so I loved the message of the song, and obviously we have a wonderful history of success together, so I was thrilled to be able to be a part of it with him.
So, living on a prayer. All right, Jennifer, tell me about the Go Big show, all about it, and tell me about Snoop Dogg as a judge. I just want your inner take on that.
Yeah, I mean, look, first of all, the show itself is super exciting, really fresh and interesting. We have a ton of talent shows out there now that are really performing arts based, that are great, but they're singing and dancing. This show is everything except that, and to the extreme on steroids.
How do you go bigger than that?
Am I next? It is something that I have never been able to see in one place before, and was thrilled to be able to have not only a front row seat, but sometimes participate as a judge. And then judges, yes, the whole panel is really fantastic, and such a fun and diverse group of people, starting with Snoop.
You got all of my attention now.
Rosario Dawson, Cody Rhodes, and then Burt Kreischer as the host. So I've described the panel sort of like this. It's like, if you remember the movie Breakfast Club, it's like everybody is super diverse personalities, right? But you totally go to Saturday Detention with these folks and have a blast.
You know, if Snoop Dogg was in Saturday Detention, it would be an amazing time. I totally agree. Well, since the world's gotten smaller, I can't wait to watch Go Big Show. Jennifer Nettles, it has been such a pleasure. Please check out Go Big Show, airing Thursdays on TBS. We'll be right back.
Promotional
Monday on DBL, we honor the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., how far America has come, and the work still ahead, with special guests Cheryl Lee Ralph and Judge Mathis. That's Monday on DBL.
Welcome back to DBL. We love sharing your comments. Okay, so Maybell says, this is in regard to the swimmer, I think it would send a strong message if they stripped that swimmer of his medals. Dean said he should be able to keep his medals. He earned them. I understand that too, Dean. I really do. Sensitivity Training says, yeah, if Jeff ever does anything bad, he should be stripped of head of household.
Wow, Big Brother reference.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That happens too. That happens too. Listen, I've done bad things and I've had things stripped from me, right? It's consequences to your actions. It's life.
Yeah.
Amen to that. I've
Tori,
certainly been stripped of some things.
Tori, you want to add anything to that mix?
No, I just want to bring up the fact that it's not just the U.S. putting that medal and that consequence. That's really the global community saying we condemn this as a whole. So I think that's an important step maybe for healing.
Yeah, I hear you.
And I've been stripped of things too.
I don't know. You're pretty by the books, follow the law,
yeah, I'm
follow the rules type of a gal.
She wasn't stripped. She just lost them.
They're in your car underneath the seat, Tori. Everything you've been stripped of. Or like your necklace, it was actually in the carousel at my house. So,
yeah, Tori. We call her Tornado Tori on this show. Remember to watch DBL on Facebook or YouTube. You can chat with other viewers and with the hosts during the commercials, and we'll read your comments on TV. If you're sticking around, here's what's coming up on DBL. Lori Loughlin's husband has had it with prison life. Should he spend the rest of his sentence at home? And Mary Kate Olsen's Zoom divorce. Interesting. DBL's new every day. We'll be right back.
Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to DBL. I'm Sam here with Jeff and Erica. Tori joining us from home. Okay, so Lori Loughlin's husband, Mossimo Giannoli, wants out of prison early. The fashion designer is currently serving 5 months in federal prison for his role in the college admission scandal. He's now asking the judge permission to serve the remainder of his sentence at home. According to his lawyer, Mossimo spent the first 56 days in the solitary confinement due to COVID restrictions. He's now been released to the general prison camp. His wife, Lori, spent 2 months in federal prison and was released shortly after Christmas. Erica, should Mossimo be allowed to serve the rest of his sentence at home, in your opinion?
Taking Mossimo out of it for a second, I would like to point out that 56 days in solitary confinement is a long time. A lot of people do consider solitary confinement to be cruel and unusual punishment. However, that being said, in this case, what he's essentially asking for is to be treated like the rest of the world, because we're all in home, you know, quarantine. So what's the difference between the average person and him serving his time at home? And it's interesting that because they decided to play this out for so long, that's how they ended up in the situation of being in prison during COVID. Had they just taken their punishment like Felicity Huffman did in the beginning, they would have been in and out and this wouldn't even be a thing. So he kind of brought it on himself.
Tori, you were chiming in when Erica was speaking. What did you want to say?
No, I just wanted to say, we all kind of joke about Operation Varsity Blues and all this and the 11 days and all that, but I strongly believe in abolishing solitary confinement for many psychological reasons, and 56 days can make someone have significant mental health problems. I think he should be in jail or confined, but I absolutely don't think, and I understand they needed to be, but at some point 56 days to me is torture.
Yeah, I agree with you. His lawyer stated, and I don't know how true this is because it's just his lawyer saying, but he went through, like, he's going through severe mental health, and he also was assaulted, I've heard from his lawyer. But I don't know, I mean, if you compare the two, I don't know if he has bigger charges, but like Felicity Huffman served 12 days. He's 56 days in solitary confinement. If you do it just by their crime, I feel like he's done his time, but I don't know if there's bigger charges on him.
I disagree with you guys. I agree in the sense that I have so much empathy, and I think that solitary confinement is cruel and unusual punishment. Agree. However, there's inmates, the list goes on and on and on, that are also experiencing that, again, because of COVID. So the fact that we're all singling him out when there are others that have done far less egregious crimes than him who are also in solitary confinement because of COVID, why are we going to give him a pass?
They also released a lot of prisoners when COVID started. Remember, they let go a lot of prisoners with lesser crimes, and they're like, we don't, the jails, you know, the population's in jail.
I just don't want to
they let it go because the COVID outbreak was crazy.
I just don't want to see him get special treatment. He doesn't deserve special treatment. He should have to carry out his sentence just like everybody else. If they are going to release people to go home and serve their sentences at home that have the same type of conviction or charges as he does, then that's a whole different story. I just hope that he's not going to get special treatment because he can buy the money, can buy the best lawyer, and then I just don't think that's ethical nor fair.
56 days in solitary.
I know.
That's not special.
No, it's because of COVID. He's not alone.
Either way.
Right, but then who's advocating for the other inmates?
No, you're wrong.
Okay. Mary-Kate Olsen's divorce. Can you imagine Jeff and I fighting at home? Like,
I had nothing else to say, and I was like, I'm done here.
Okay. All right, so Mary-Kate Olsen's divorce was finalized over Zoom. Yeah, that's a sign of the times. The screenshot of the virtual hearing shows Mary-Kate in the middle, surrounded by her lawyers. Her ex, Olivia Sarkozy, is right below her. The image sparked lots of memes on Twitter, with one user saying this is the first time they have seen the former Full House star smile in years. Another person called the screenshot, quote, a stunning work of pandemic art. Mary-Kate and Olivier married in 2015. She filed an emergency order to divorce him back in May. And again, that was due to COVID as well, that emergency order, because she was like, I'm not going to be in the same household as this individual, but they kind of shelved it, saying that her circumstances for an emergency divorce did not warrant compared to other people's circumstances. Just a little backstory there. What do you make of this, Erica?
So I have a different perspective on court during COVID, because I've appeared in court a few times during COVID because my husband and I are court-appointed special advocates, so for the child welfare system. And I think that it's a very interesting way of, thanks, Tori. It's a very interesting way of conducting court. And it actually, what I found is you're able to follow along with the proceedings a little bit bit better because you're not in a big room with multiple cases going, forward. You also get a little bit more privacy because everyone doesn't necessarily sign in at the same time, so you're not overhearing court cases that don't necessarily apply to your case. So I think that for a lot of people, it might be a benefit that they're going to court during COVID because you're getting just a little bit more privacy and you can understand what's going on.
I like the Zoom
I prefer
thing,
it.
Right? Like going to court, I don't know
no
why.
Thanks.
It makes me nervous.
Yeah.
You go in there, you go through a metal detector, you're like, do I still have my gun on me? And you don't even have a gun, but you're scared in there. It's nerve-wracking being in court.
Yeah, I'm all for the Zoom divorce hearing. Okay, so Tori, a video on TikTok is going viral after a man tried to clean his wife's makeup brushes. In the video, the man says he wanted to surprise his wife by cleaning the brushes. So he gets the idea to load them up in the dishwasher. There he is, putting them in one by one, while the final result was not pretty. Nope, they were ruined. Yeah, I saw like the whole video, and let me tell you, a lot of the brushes were without hair. And newsflash, and Tori, you know this, and so do you, Erica, makeup brushes are expensive. Yeah. Tori, did you ever have a moment with you and Brooks where you were trying to do something for him, or he was trying to do something for you really nice, and it was a massive fail?
Well, he did buy me a onesie. I've been really into jumpsuits lately. And he bought me a onesie for Hanukkah. And he bought me an ample size. I have ample body measurements. And unfortunately, it was from across the seas. And it ended up being, it wouldn't even go over my knee. And so I felt bad, fat, and sad.
Okay, all right, that was a fail. Erica, what about you?
I didn't have a really great one, but my husband is not a big social media guy, so I have to kind of pull his teeth to like take photos and stuff. So we were out shopping, and we found our bedding. So I told him that we were going to do a pillow fight, and the lady was taking pictures, but he accidentally like whacked me in the face. So. Or maybe it wasn't an accident. I don't know. So yeah, and then the rest of the day he was like, "Are you like seriously? Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm fine. I'm fine." Look.
But you can't get mad at that cute face.
I know you can't. There's no way. What about you and Jordan? I feel like this happens all the time with you two.
Always, but one that sticks out to me is like when she's washing my clothes, which she belongs in the laundry room. Oh yeah, get them stirred up. Get them stirred up out there. No, because people are crazy. Jordan tweeted something the other day, and she's like,
he's kidding.
I'm just kidding. Jordan tweeted something out the other day, or on Instagram, whatever it is, and she's like, Jeff's at home, I'm getting my nails done. I need a little break, and I took a picture and I sent it to her, and she posted it. Everyone's like, that's his kids. It's not watching his kid. People were like crushing her. Anyways, I want to get to your story real fast. When we take turns doing the laundry, she doesn't believe in separating the whites from the colors.
What?
And it's so crazy. It's so racist, but it's so crazy. I can't say.
I would be so frustrated
Erica's
with that. Yeah. My husband.
There were so many things wrong with what I just said. Go ahead.
Oh, so my husband, bless his heart, he wanted to surprise me one day, clean up the whole house, do the dishes, and he's good with doing the dishes from time to time, but he does more other things, like the trash or fixing things. Like, we have our roles in the house. I'm more of the dishwasher person, although he would say I don't load it right. Anyways, he did the dishes. I come home to this. Yep. Put the wrong soap in. There was soap bubbles all over the kitchen. Let me tell you, that was just the beginning, folks.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, and it took several rinse cycles to get rid of those soap bubbles. Yeah, we could have had a foam party in that kitchen.
Yeah.
But he tried.
He did try. And he does other things. Like, I could never fix the house like he does.
He does other things. Oh,
but apparently I don't load the dishwasher right. I don't like have it all perfect. Does that bother you? I feel like it bothers you if you just kind of throw it in.
Yeah, there's a lot of little things that bother me. I think me and Mark are on the same wavelength a little bit.
Yes, you guys are very particular the way you fold your clothes.
We're jerks.
And all that
just
stuff.
say we're jerks. We're jerks.
No, you're not. Tori, we will see you later in the show. Coming up on DBL, you know him from those hilarious Progressive commercials. The ones warning you against turning into your parents. We're chatting live with actor Bill Glass coming up next. Welcome back to DBL. Insurance commercials have become their own genre of TV comedy, but you can't think of an insurance commercial without Progressive's Dr. Rick. The parental life coach, Bill Glass, who brings Dr. Rick to life, joins us live. But first, let's take a little look at Dr. Rick hard at work.
Do we really need a sign to live, laugh, and love? Yes. The answer is no. I can help new homeowners not become their parents.
Kiana.
Nope.
Chloe Noah.
No.
Joaquin.
No. It just takes practice. Give it a shot. Do you hear that?
Yeah.
It's a constant battle.
Hilarious. Bill Glass, a.k.a. Dr. Rick, welcome to DBL. So
thank you, guys.
We love you here. For a subject like insurance, let me tell you, it has some of the most clever and hilarious campaigns on TV. But you stand out. You do it well. Tell us about your character, parental life coach, Dr. Rick.
Thank you. Dr. Rick is a world-renowned parental life coach. He lectures, writes books. I have 2 best-selling books. When he's not on his speaking tours, he's a Renaissance man. He's a climber, a deep-sea diver. He's an adventurer. So he's not just, and you can see by my physique in the spots, they cast an athlete. So he brings a certain athleticism to the parentomorphosis field.
I love it. I love it. You could tell why he's good. You can tell why he's good. Was there ever a time in your life when you actually thought to yourself, you're like, whoa, I'm actually becoming my parents?
Oh, yeah. I caught myself walking through the house, turning off light switches, and I was like, do we have to have every light on? And my wife came around the corner, and she looked at me. She said, take a walk. Walk it off. I'm not marrying your father. I didn't marry your father. So walk it off. So I got sent for a lap after my moment.
I feel like all of us are struggling with that. I know Erica, her father is infamous on this show, Bill. Yeah. Like her father, Roosevelt, is completely infamous, and I say that respectfully. Do you ever have moments, I gotta get Erica's opinion on this, do you ever get moments, Erica, where you're like, I'm just like Roosevelt?
Oh yeah, the light thing, I say all the time, like what's up with the lights? But I also, one time, I swatted my husband's hand before he opened the refrigerator door. It was so instant that I like did it, and then I took my own hand and I was like, oh, I am so sorry, because I was like, did you wash your hands? And he was like, what? And I'm like, I don't know, you came inside, you were outside in the trash, and he's like, I went to the bathroom and washed my hands. I was just like, wash your hands. I don't know. Maybe I'm panicked, maybe it's COVID.
I think she needs a little bit of Dr. Rick in her life. In fact, really quickly, Dr. Rick, before we get more from you, we want to check out another moment with some of your pearls of wisdom.
My parentology thoughts, I was coming up with so many of them. I thought, I don't need to just have this, the world should have it. So I just birthed it, you know, right out of me. Sometimes we have a victory, and I relish those.
Probably need a hacksaw at some point.
Nope. But most of the time we don't.
So what does it take to get you into the Dr. Rick character? Do you have any rituals that get you in the right Dr. Rick headspace?
Well, I carry, yeah. Oh, well, there it is. This is what I hear in the makeup chair right before, yes, ta-da! Right before we glue on the beast. I call the mustache the beast. And you know, Yeah, there he is. There's me and the beast.
Oh.
So yeah, we prep. We put on the mustache. I carry my comedy in my glutes and in my hamstrings. So there's some deep lunges, some hamstring stretches, and like I said, then once Superman takes off his glasses, Dr. Rick puts on the stash.
You are hilarious.
Do you write this yourself, or is this how does it work? The writing of this, is it a collaboration?
It's Arnold Worldwide is the ad agency. They write some great stuff, but they also hire a bunch of us improvisers. I can talk. I'll get there. We cover the script, and then we play a little bit, and then they go back in the editing bay and churn out what they churn out. So it's a fun process.
Wow. Yeah, they are lucky to have you because you have fully embodied this character, let me tell you. So, Bill, what do you think is some of the best advice Dr. Rick has given? And what do you guys go ahead.
Oh, my best advice is the cell phone in public. I mean, I say in one of my books, it's a you conversation, not a we conversation. So we need to keep it that way. Just put the phone to the ear. Help us all out.
I love it. I love the one where he goes when this lady walks in. She's strange, obviously, and he's like, "We all see it. We all see it. Don't look." It's like so. It's
there
like
could be a movie.
It's everyday like common things that we all think in our heads, but it's like now it's become this woke culture that you're almost making fun of. I don't know. I love it. I appreciate it.
I want there to be a Dr. Rick movie.
Ooh.
I think that could happen. What do you think, Bill?
Look, I'm available. I'm available. I'm ready to stretch and suit up. You know, it's just so funny that people have gravitated to these spots. If you would have told me that this campaign would get 10 million views on YouTube, I would have said you were nuts. I mean, Leslie Jones is tweeting about it. Eric Stonestreet's tweeting about it. So it's pretty cool.
Well, there's something about it where we all just evolve into our parents. We all need a Dr. Rick. We do. Bill Glass, a.k.a. Dr. Rick, thank you so much for joining us. You are one of a kind, so funny, and I really hope that we can get a Dr. Rick movie somehow in the works. Thank you.
Hey, put it out there in the water. Thank you for having me. I enjoyed the show. You guys
we'll
are great.
We'll be right back, everybody. Bye, Bill. Welcome back to DBL. More people are considering traveling this year after the pandemic, but put plans on hold last year. So we're sharing the top search destinations on today's DBL Drive, sponsored by CarShield. One of the most searched destinations, Anchorage, Alaska, known for its outdoor activities, national parks. And another top spot is Key West, Florida, making it clear that men who want to just enjoy the sun, sit on the beach, and the #1 spot searched is the Virgin Islands, another sign that people are just looking to unwind. So when it comes to traveling, for peace of mind, get an auto protection plan with CarShield. CarShield protects their members from the high cost of auto repairs. Call 1-800-505-9619 for a free quote. I cannot wait to travel again.
Girl, I am like, what am I going to do for my 40th birthday?
Honey, I know that feeling.
I know. We have the conversation, and you think, like, it's a milestone birthday. I'm going to do this, and it's going to be big. And I'm like, I'm going to be at home.
I know.
I'm going to bring the Maldives to my house.
We can do that, Erica. We can figure it out.
Bring the Maldives.
You must miss traveling. You're quite the adventurer.
Yeah, I miss it. I miss it.
You are, though.
But with the kids, you know, it's tough anyways. But yeah, we're really looking to plan a trip, like everyone else, I'm sure.
I can't wait. We can just, come on, guys. We can get through this one day at a time. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you.
Welcome back to DBL. Speaking of birthdays, before we go, I have to share something that happened this morning. Tori's birthday was earlier this week, as you know, but this morning we sent her a belated little birthday surprise. Take a look.
T-Bone, an admirer wanted to send you a little happy belated B-Day.
Hey, Tori, aka T-Bone. This is from Sam, Kelly, and Patty. This is your girl gang. And I hear that you are the funniest person that they know. And I want to wish you a happy belated 39th birthday. I know that you had a huge crush on me. I hope you still do. That actually makes me feel pretty good. Anyway, I hear that you are also the cat's meow, and I want to send you a big hug and lots of love on your 39th birthday. And you sure are loved by Sam and Kelly and Patty and Tori, a.k.a. T-Bone. Happy birthday.
Oh my God! Oh my God! That's the best gift ever! I never imagined I'd hear from the goat.
Tell us everything. I just want to say thank you again. I would dream of kissing him like on my wallpaper for years, and then all of a sudden Steve Guttenberg called my name, T-Bone, and it was just, I can't thank you enough, you guys. It made my whole day. It made my year.
And your dog's reaction, they're like, what is happening to our mom? Why is our mom on the floor? Tori, you are so beloved. And yeah, the goot. The good old
that was from all of us. That was from all of us.
Keep us new every day. We'll see you Monday, same time, same place. Bye, guys.
I wanted to send you a little happy belated birthday.
Hey, Tori, a.k.a. T-Bone. This is from Sam, Kelly, and Patty. This is your girl gang. And I hear that you are the funniest person that they know. And I want to wish you a happy belated 39th birthday. I know that you had a huge crush on me. I hope you still do. That actually makes me feel pretty good. Anyway, I hear that you are also the cat's meow, and I want to send you a big hug.
On Daily Blast Live.
Heading out of town. President Trump's team is packing up his stuff and starting the move out of the White House. Now, 4 years later, what will life be like without him at the helm as Joe Biden prepares to take over? An Olympic swimmer is facing federal charges for participating in the Capitol riot. Should he lose his medals over this? Country music star Jennifer Nettles gives us the scoop on judging a new extreme talent show.
It is something that I have never been able to see in one place before.
What's it like sharing the stage with Snoop Dogg?
You got all of my attention now.
You know him from those funny Progressive insurance commercials.
Do we really need a sign to live, laugh, and love?
Yes.
The answer is no.
The man behind the perfect deadpan delivery of Dr. Rick is on our show today.
You woke up early. No one cares.
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
Welcome to DBL. It is Friday, January 15th. I'm Sam here with Jeff and Erica. Tori joining us from home. Let's get right to it because in just 5 days, President-elect Joe Biden will be sworn in. And at the White House yesterday, take a look here. As the Trumps prepare to move out of the famous home, staff packed up boxes of documents and loaded them into moving vans. They were also seen taking this sculpture of Abraham Lincoln out of the White House, as well as this stuffed bird. Interesting. So in less than a week, President Trump will be out of office, and no matter which side of the aisle you are on, chances are we are not going to be seeing all of the colorful and controversial headlines that came with the Trump presidency. So the question is the country ready for a more typical politician? And how do you think life will change? I'd love to hear your comments, DBL Nation. Write in. We always love to hear from you. Erica, how do you think life will change?
You know, I think people are exhausted, to be quite honest. And I think the idea of a typical politician, it might be refreshing to some people. I just know no matter how much you are ready to fight, you only have so much fight in you. And I think it's time that we stop the fight.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be like people suddenly expect, you know, when New Year's strikes, their life is going to change for the year and everything's going to be better. I think people are thinking that with Joe Biden's presidency. Listen, I don't know what's going to happen, but it's definitely not going to happen on Wednesday, whatever it is. My question is to everybody is like, what are the American people going to do? All these people that spend hours on social media complaining to their friends, where is all that anger going to go, right? If Trump is gone, there's nothing to complain about. It doesn't mean you just let go and all that anger is gone and you don't spend time on social media. It's going to be redirected to another spot.
Right.
So where would my guess? I'm scared to see where that's going to go.
I don't think he's going anywhere. And Tori, jump in here. I think, listen, I know that he's been silenced on most social media platforms. I think someone is going to give Trump a platform, or he will find a way to have a platform. When we saw those riots at the Capitol, Tori, we did not see thousands of people holding American flags. We saw thousands of people holding Trump flags. So I don't think he and his supporters are going to all of a sudden be silenced. I also don't think that we should expect this wonderful awakening when Biden comes into office. We still, all as constituents, need to hold Biden accountable to some of his campaign promises and some of his promises once he gets into office. But what do you think, Tori?
Yeah, it's not going to be a rosy glow. I totally agree. And Trump will create his own platform. Get ready for the Trump platform. He'll brand it himself, so don't worry about that. My big thing is, one, to me, the doom scrolling, I can stop for a little bit. If you guys don't know what that is, it's when you're just sort of addicted to Twitter because things happen now every 5 minutes, or there's another tweet or another problem or a scandal, and you get kind of addicted to that. I hope I can put that to rest. That's not healthy for anyone, and it makes me really anxious. The second thing, though, that's actually really good that happened, Sam, is people pulled back the curtain on politics and learned a lot. Voter registration is way up the political process people are involved with. People are now running. So in some ways, it inspired a lot of people to get involved with things that I'm nerdy about, but I didn't know anyone else was. So in some ways, that's a good thing.
Do you think there will be a new normal, or a normal that we were once used to a decade ago, or do you think that's long gone? Maybe because of social media, to Jeff's point.
Well, I agree with Tori. Like, we've seen The Wizard, so I don't think that we're going to go back. But I did think what Jeff was saying earlier was interesting, because I've always asked this question. A lot of people have, created platforms based on their support of an individual person, not the party. So if you are a person who has gone all in on this presidency, I've always asked, well, what will happen in 4, or if your best case scenario would be 8 years, because you've put your support behind a person and not the party or true politics. So that is going to be an interesting thing to watch for a lot of people.
Yeah, great points. I'm getting so many comments right now. I think we're going to have to go through them and then perhaps in a couple of blocks, which I guess that's television talk, but soon I can read your comments. But I do want to go through them all because we were getting so many. Okay, so an Olympic gold medalist is in hot water. Cleat Keller, who you can see here in photographs from the Capitol riots last week, was even wearing his Team USA jacket. Yeah, he's also very tall, very, very tall, so people spotted him right away. Well, he turned himself into federal authorities yesterday and was charged with 3 crimes related to his involvement. Keller is a 3-time Olympic swimmer. He earned 5 medals over his career, including a couple of gold medals for Team USA. Now, some are saying if he's convicted, he should lose his Olympic medals. DBL Nation, we want to hear from you on this one. Do you think that's fair? Is that going too far, or is that the consequences that he should suffer? Go to dblvote.com. Tell us what you think. Jeff, what do you make of this?
You know, Sam, I could go either way with this. So whichever way you guys are going to go, I'll go the opposite. But I'll just start off on the opposite. If you take away his medals, that doesn't mean he did not earn them at the time, right? I just immediately go to O.J. Simpson. He won the Heisman Trophy in 1968. You could take away that trophy from him. You could take away that object, but ultimately he earned that trophy in 1968. So my question is, if you take away those gold medals, they're worth something. They're worth value. Who gets them? Does the government take them? And do you get paid back for what they're worth? Or I don't know how that works.
I have some inside baseball on this one. I don't think he knows where his medals are. So I swam with him.
Which is a problem.
Yeah. So
you swam with him.
I swam. Now listen, I swam for Team UCLA. He swam for USC during the same times. We were always around the same circle. I do not know him personally, but that swimming community at that level is very close knit, and you all know of each other. I could say it to that point. What I can lend is I know that after the Olympics, like many athletes, they lose their identity. They don't know what to do with themselves. And with him, it hit him hard. So within the swimming community, we all knew that he became homeless. We all knew that he lost his medals. Maybe he sold his medals. This is all just what I know from that community. This is not in any way, shape, or form trying to paint him in a sympathetic light. Let me get that clear. So I don't know if he knows where his medals are. I do know that he made a comeback, so to speak. A couple of years ago, he's in Colorado Springs, was a realtor. I did check in to see if he's still a realtor at that site, and he's no longer employed by them. So from what I would understand, it looks like they fired him or he resigned. He also just didn't turn himself into authorities. I should say that. It was his team members that I know, that turned him in. So when they saw that video, they knew exactly it was him, and his team members, people that knew him, turned him in. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, next time you got that kind of information, just dish it out. I just was babbling for no reason.
Your point is going back to your point, because that's what everybody's talking about today. Should he keep these medals? Listen, and I don't say this lightly, considering that I know all the blood, sweat, and tears it took for him to get those medals and to get to that level. I think he should have his medals stripped, considering that there's already a precedent. If there wasn't a precedent, right? So there's been athletes that have done far less than him that have had their medals stripped. So because there's a precedent, he should have his medals stripped. Also, when you look at that footage, Tori, he's in the rotunda and he's pushing back against law enforcement. So we all know what happened that day. We all know that officers lost their lives that day. So this is, there's got to be very, very, very stiff consequences.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because the people that are going to make the decision are the International Olympic Committee. I think I'm correct on that, Sam. And what's interesting is they're going to let us know if his medals do get stripped, what the global community feels about the Capitol riots. We haven't heard from the world, and this might be the first sense that the world is condemning them by stripping him of those medals.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Where do we go, though? Like, listen, I'm all for taking away those medals, right? I'm not putting up a case against it. But how far do we go with this, right? Do we go back in time with Oscars, Grammys, with everything?
Right. I think when we're really having this conversation, it's not about the actual physical thing. You know, it's not like any of us really know, like, well, I know it's not in his bookshelf anymore. You know, it's about the symbolism of the idea that he embarrassed his country, and not only did that act, but wearing the Team USA jacket.
Yeah, the USA. Yeah.
Like, it's such a smack in the face. If I was one of his teammates, I would have driven him to the FBI.
Yeah, he's been pretty disenfranchised for a long time, according to a lot of his close friends. So sad, really is sad, and I hope he faces the full prosecution of the law, because he deserves it. 52% of you believe that he should lose his Olympic medals. We love hearing from you, DBL Nation. Thank you. Oh, he should not. Wow, 52% disagree with us. Okay, you know what? That is A-okay.
It's par for the course.
Tori, don't go away. Coming up on DBL, Lori Loughlin's husband wants out of jail early. Are you kidding me? We'll tell you why. Plus, singer Jennifer Nettles is telling us all about her new competition show, Go Big, where supersized talent is king, and we've all been there, forgetting our password to an online account. But imagine if you had millions of dollars at stake. It's a real-life nightmare for one guy. We'll tell you all about it next. Welcome back to DBL. Here's something we can all relate to. Have you ever forgotten your password? Oh yeah, many times every day. Well, here's the thing. It's turned into a very expensive problem for one man. Stefan Thomas says he had around $260 million worth of Bitcoin. The digital currency is stashed on a small hard drive, but here's the thing. He's forgotten the password to the device, and he only has 2 more tries to get it right before he loses access forever. It also means all that cryptocurrency would be wiped out clean.
Sounds like a Nicolas Cage movie.
Here's what he told NBC about it.
Just like lay in bed and come up with a new way to recover it, and then wouldn't work, and I would try another way and it wouldn't work either. It's not like I barely don't remember it. It's there's no chance of remembering something that complicated from 10 years ago.
Wow. What would you do, Jeff?
First of all, here's what I would do. If I had $260 million in a bank, I wouldn't wait 10 years to check on it. I make a bet on my app that for $4, and I wake up in the middle of the night, I'm like, did I win?
But so, it just became really, really lucrative, right? So, and apparently with Bitcoin, you have 10 chances to crack this code. Think of it like a safe, because if you were to have some sort of call center to help you find your password, it would lose its value because it's currency. So you have to think of it like money and a safe. And if you lose that password, you're never going to crack into that safe.
Call the Russians. They're good at hacking stuff.
Well, no, but But you're not supposed to ever tell anybody your password. There is no setup for it. You come up with the password and then it never leaves you. Otherwise, you makes you vulnerable to hackers. But Tori, you get 10 tries. He's tried 8 times. He's got 2 more chances. 2 more. What would you do?
I guess, to be honest with you, and Al Jackson gave me this idea, I'd go to hypnotherapy. I would try to go back to the time and the smells and the songs of 10 years ago, maybe the thong song or something, and get into that mode and remember the password. Otherwise, I would just hate myself.
You're asking Tori opinions about remembering things?
The thong song.
Yeah.
How did that get in here?
What would you do, Erica?
Because 10 years ago. 10 years ago.
I get it, Tori. I get it. I would be despondent. I don't know how he even did the interview, because I feel like this is a sign. Just take me now, Lord Jesus.
I know.
What
He must have a ton of money. A ton of money.
Yeah.
Hey.
To be like, 260 million. I mean, come on. I would lose my mind.
Can we go back to Tori for a second on hypnotherapy? Yes. Tori, why don't you go so you remember where your badge is every day?
Yeah, I should.
No comment. No comment.
Coming up on DBL, divorce pandemic style. Did Mary-Kate Olsen really call it quits with her husband over Zoom? And it's the competition show that's perfect escape for the new year. Jennifer Nettles tells Tori all about it, coming up next. Welcome back to DBL. You know Jennifer Nettles as one half of Sugarland, but the country music star is so much more. She acts, does Broadway, and now she's a celebrity judge for a brand new talent show. She told Tori about her newest gig earlier in today's Chatting with the Stars.
Joining us is the super talented Jennifer Nettles. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to Daily Blast Live. I'm super excited to talk about Go Big show, but as a fan, I know you're outspoken about some current issues, and I just wanted to check in and see how you're holding up in this crazy week.
Yeah, it is a crazy week, isn't it? I mean, I think everybody during this pandemic, our lives have gotten smaller in some ways and super challenged in others. And to be able to watch everything as it unfolds, in many ways, it hurts your heart, to see what has been happening in this country. I hope that we can, get a vaccine rollout that is efficient and effective so that we can all get back to doing the things that we love and focusing on positive things like Go Big Show, for example. And and make the changes we need to make in the meantime.
Amen to that. All right, I love, first off, your new song with Bon Jovi, also about getting through the pandemic. 15 years ago, when you two first got together, you were just an up-and-coming star. What was it like this time around with Bon Jovi?
I think second time twice as sweet. You know, he reached out to me and said, hey, would you like to join me on this song? And I heard the song and thought that it was perfect and so appropriate for where we are right now in the world, really, you know, with the message being when you can't do what you normally do, everybody needs to do what they can to help each other. And so I loved the message of the song, and obviously we have a wonderful history of success together, so I was thrilled to be able to be a part of it with him.
So, living on a prayer. All right, Jennifer, tell me about the Go Big show, all about it, and tell me about Snoop Dogg as a judge. I just want your inner take on that.
Yeah, I mean, look, first of all, the show itself is super exciting, really fresh and interesting. We have a ton of talent shows out there now that are really performing arts based, that are great, but they're singing and dancing. This show is everything except that, and to the extreme on steroids.
How do you go bigger than that?
Am I next? It is something that I have never been able to see in one place before, and was thrilled to be able to have not only a front row seat, but sometimes participate as a judge. And then judges, yes, the whole panel is really fantastic, and such a fun and diverse group of people, starting with Snoop.
You got all of my attention now.
Rosario Dawson, Cody Rhodes, and then Bert Kreischer as the host. So I've described the panel sort of like this. It's like, if you remember the movie Breakfast Club, it's like everybody is super diverse personalities, right? But you totally go to Saturday Detention with these folks and have a blast.
You know, if Snoop Dogg was in Saturday Detention, it would be an amazing time. I totally agree. Well, since the world's gotten smaller, I can't wait to watch Go Big Show. Jennifer Nettles, it has been such a pleasure. Please check out Go Big Show, airing Thursdays on TBS. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is...
DBL. We honor the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., how far America has come, and the work still ahead, with special guests Cheryl Lee Ralph and Judge Mathis. That's Monday on DBL.
Welcome back to DBL. We love sharing your comments. Okay, so Maybell says, this is in regard to the swimmer, I think it would send a strong message if they stripped that swimmer of his medals. Dean said he should be able to keep his medals. He earned them. I understand that too, Dean. I really do. Sensitivity Training says, yeah, if Jeff ever does anything bad, he should be stripped of head of household.
Wow, Big Brother reference.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That happens too. That happens too. Listen, I've done bad things and I've had things stripped from me, right? It's consequences to your actions. It's life.
Yeah.
Amen to that. I've
Tori,
certainly been stripped of some things.
Tori, you want to add anything to that mix?
No, I just want to bring up the fact that it's not just the U.S. putting that medal and that consequence. That's really the global community saying we condemn this as a whole. So I think that's an important step maybe for healing.
Yeah, I hear you.
And I've been stripped of things too.
I don't know. You're pretty by the books, follow the law, follow the rules type of a gal.
Story she wasn't stripped. She just lost them.
They're in your car underneath the seat, Tori. Everything you've been stripped of. Or like your necklace, it was actually in the carousel at my house. So,
yeah, Tori. We call her Tornado Tori on this show. Remember to watch DBL on Facebook or YouTube. You can chat with other viewers and with the hosts during the commercials, and we'll read your comments on TV. If you're sticking around, here's what's coming up on DBL. Lori Loughlin's husband has had it with prison life. Should he spend the rest of his sentence at home? And Mary Kate Olsen's Zoom divorce. Interesting. DBL's new every day. We'll be right back.
Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to DBL. I'm Sam here with Jeff and Erica. Tori joining us from home. Okay, so Lori Loughlin's husband, Mossimo Giannoli, wants out of prison early. The fashion designer is currently serving 5 months in federal prison for his role in the college admission scandal. He's now asking the judge permission to serve the remainder of his sentence at home. According to his lawyer, Mossimo spent the first 56 days in the solitary confinement due to COVID restrictions. He's now been released to the general prison camp. His wife Lori spent 2 months in federal prison and was released shortly after Christmas. Erica, should Mossimo be allowed to serve the rest of his sentence at home, in your opinion?
Taking Mossimo out of it for a second, I would like to point out that 56 days in solitary confinement is a long time. A lot of people do consider solitary confinement to be cruel and unusual punishment. However, that being said, in this case, what he's essentially asking for is to be treated like the rest of the world, because we're all in home, you know, quarantine. So what's the difference between the average person and him serving his time at home? And it's interesting that because they decided to play this out for so long, that's how they ended up in the situation of being in prison during COVID. Had they just taken their punishment like Felicity Huffman did in the beginning, they would have been in and out and this wouldn't even be a thing. So he kind of brought it on himself.
Tori, you were chiming in when Erica was speaking. What did you want to say?
No, I just wanted to say, we all kind of joke about Operation Varsity Blues and all this and the 11 days and all that, but I strongly believe in abolishing solitary confinement for many psychological reasons, and 56 days can make someone have significant mental health problems. I think he should be in jail or confined, but I absolutely don't think, and I understand they needed to be, but at some point 56 days, to me, is torture.
Yeah, I agree with you. His lawyer stated, and I don't know how true this is because it's just his lawyer saying, but he went through, like, he's going through severe mental health, and he also was assaulted, I've heard from his lawyer. But I don't know, I mean, if you compare the two, I don't know if he has bigger charges, but like Felicity Huffman served 12 days. He's 56 days in solitary confinement. If you do it just by their crime, I feel like he's done his time, but I don't know if there's bigger charges on him.
I disagree with you guys. I agree in the sense that I have so much empathy, and I think that solitary confinement is cruel and unusual punishment. Agree. However, there's inmates, the list goes on and on and on, that are also experiencing that, again, because of COVID. So the fact that we're all singling him out when there are others that have done far less egregious crimes than him who are also in solitary confinement because of COVID, why are we going to give him a pass?
They also released a lot of prisoners when COVID started. Remember, they let go a lot of prisoners with lesser crimes, and they're like, we don't, the jails, you know, the populations in jail,
I just don't want to
they let it go because the COVID outbreak was crazy.
I just don't want to see him get special treatment. He doesn't deserve special treatment. He should have to carry out his sentence just like everybody else. If they are going to release people to go home and serve their sentences at home that have the same type of conviction or charges as he does, then that's a whole different story. I just hope that he's not going to get special treatment because he can buy the money, can buy the best lawyer, and then I just don't think that's ethical nor fair.
56 days in solitary.
I know.
That's not special.
No, it's because of COVID. He's not alone.
Either way.
Right, but then who's advocating for the other inmates?
No, you're wrong.
Okay. Mary-Kate Olsen's divorce. Can you imagine Jeff and I fighting at home? Like,
I had nothing else to say, and I was like, I'm done here.
Okay. All right, so Mary-Kate Olsen's divorce was finalized over Zoom. Yeah, that's a sign of the times. The screenshot of the virtual hearing shows Mary-Kate in the middle, surrounded by her lawyers. Her ex, Olivia Sarkozy, is right below her. The image sparked lots of memes on Twitter, with one user saying this is the first time they have seen the former Full House star smile in years. Another person called the screenshot, quote, a stunning work of pandemic art. Mary-Kate and Olivier married in 2015. She filed an emergency order to divorce him back in May. And again, that was due to COVID as well, that emergency order, because she was like, I'm not going to be in the same household as this individual, but they kind of shelved it, saying that her circumstances for an emergency divorce did not warrant compared to other people's circumstances. Just a little backstory there. What do you make of this, Erica?
So I have a different perspective on court during COVID, because I've appeared in court a few times during COVID because my husband and I are court-appointed special advocates, so for the child welfare system. And I think that it's a very interesting way of, thanks, Tori. It's a very interesting way of conducting court. And it actually, what I found is you're able to follow along with the proceedings a little bit bit better because you're not in a big room with multiple cases going, you know, forward. You also get a little bit more privacy because everyone doesn't necessarily sign in at the same time, so you're not overhearing court cases that don't necessarily apply to your case. So I think that for a lot of people, it might be a benefit that they're going to court during COVID because you're getting just a little bit more privacy and you can understand what's going on.
I like the Zoom
I'd prefer
thing,
it.
right? Like going to court, I don't know
no
why.
Thanks.
It makes me nervous.
Yeah.
You go in there, you go through a metal detector, you're like, do I still have my gun on me? And you don't even have a gun, but you're scared in there. You know, like, you're just,
totally.
It's nerve-wracking being in
thanks.
court.
Yeah, I'm all for the Zoom divorce hearing. Okay, so Tori, a video on TikTok is going viral after a man tried to clean his wife's makeup brushes. In the video, the man says he wanted to surprise his wife by cleaning the brushes. So he gets the idea to load them up in the dishwasher. There he is, putting them in one by one, while the final result was not pretty. Nope, they were ruined. Yeah, I saw like the whole video, and let me tell you, a lot of the brushes were without hair. And newsflash, and Tori, you know this, and so do you, Erica, makeup brushes are expensive. Yeah. Tori, did you ever have a moment with you and Brooks where you were trying to do something for him or he was trying to do something for you really nice and it was a massive fail?
Well, he did buy me a onesie. I've been really into jumpsuits lately. And he bought me a onesie for Hanukkah. And he bought me you know, an ample size. I have ample body measurements. And unfortunately, it was from across the seas. And it ended up being, it wouldn't even go over my knee. And so I felt bad, fat, and sad.
Okay, all right, that was a fail. Erica, what about you?
I didn't have a really great one, but my husband is not a big social media guy, so I have to kind of pull his teeth to like take photos and stuff. So we were out shopping and we found our bedding. So I told him that we were going to do a pillow fight, and the lady was taking pictures, but he accidentally like whacked me in the face. So or maybe it wasn't an accident. I don't know. So yeah, and then the rest of the day he was like, "Are you like seriously? Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm fine. I'm fine." Look.
But you can't get mad at that cute face.
I know you can't. There's no way. What about you and Jordan? I feel like this happens all the time with you two.
Always, but one that sticks out to me is like when she's washing my clothes, which she belongs in the laundry room. Oh yeah, get them stirred up. Get them stirred up out there. No, because people are crazy. Jordan tweeted something the other day, and she's like,
he's kidding.
I'm just kidding. Jordan tweeted something out the other day, or on Instagram, whatever it is, and she's like, Jeff's at home, you know, I'm getting my nails done. I needed a little break, and I took a picture and I sent it to her, and she posted it. Everyone's like, that's his kids. It's not watching his kid. People were like crushing her. Anyways, I want to get to your story real fast. When we take turns doing the laundry, she doesn't believe in separating the whites from the colors.
What?
And it's so crazy. It's so racist, but it's so crazy. I can't say.
So I would be so frustrated
Erica's
with that. Yeah. My husband.
There were so many things wrong with what I just said. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, so my husband, bless his heart, you know, he wanted to surprise me one day, clean up the whole house, do the dishes, and he's good with doing the dishes from time to time, but he does more other things, like the trash or fixing things. Like, we have our roles in the house. I'm more of the dishwasher person, although he would say I don't load it right. Anyways, he did the dishes. I come home to this. Yep. Put the wrong soap in. There was soap bubbles all over the kitchen. Let me tell you, that was just the beginning, folks.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, and it took several rinse cycles to get rid of those soap bubbles. Yeah, we could have had a foam party in that kitchen.
Yeah.
But he tried.
He did try. And he does other things. Like, I could never fix the house like he does.
He does other things. Oh my God.
But apparently I don't load the dishwasher right. I don't like have it all perfect. Does that bother you? I feel like it bothers you if you just kind of throw it in.
Yeah, there's a lot of little things that bother me. I think me and Mark are on the same wavelength a little bit.
Yes, you guys are very particular the way you fold your clothes.
We're jerks.
And all that
just
stuff.
say we're jerks. We're jerks.
No, you're not. Tori, we will see you later in the show. Coming up on DBL, you know him from those hilarious Progressive commercials. The ones warning you against turning into your parents. We're chatting live with actor Bill Glass coming up next.
Close.
Have become their own genre of TV comedy, but you can't think of an insurance commercial without Progressive's Dr. Rick. The parental life coach, Bill Glass, who brings Dr. Rick to life, joins us live. But first, let's take a little look at Dr. Rick hard at work.
Do we really need a sign to live, laugh, and love?
Yes.
The answer is no. I can help new homeowners not become their parents.
Kiana.
Nope.
Koe Noah.
No.
Joaquin.
No. It just takes practice. Give it a shot. Do you hear that?
Yeah.
It's a constant battle.
Hilarious. Bill Glass, a.k.a. Dr. Rick, welcome to DBL. So
thank you, guys.
We love you here. For a subject like insurance, let me tell you, it has some of the most clever and hilarious campaigns on TV. But you stand out. You do it well. Tell us about your character, parental life coach, Dr. Rick.
Thank you. Dr. Rick is a world-renowned parental life coach. He lectures, writes books. I have 2 best-selling books. When he's not on his speaking tours, he's a Renaissance man. He's a climber, a deep-sea diver. He's an adventurer. So he's not just, and you can see by my physique in the spots, they cast an athlete. So he brings a certain athleticism to the parentomorphosis field.
I love it. I love it. You could tell why he's good. You can tell why he's good. Was there ever a time in your life when you actually thought to yourself, you're like, whoa, I'm actually becoming my parents?
Oh, yeah. I caught myself walking through the house, turning off light switches, and I was like, do we have to have every light on? And my wife came around the corner, and she looked at me. She said, take a walk. Walk it off. I'm not marrying your father. I didn't marry your father. So walk it off. So I got sent for a lap after my moment.
I feel like all of us are struggling with that. I know Erica, her father is infamous on this show, Bill. Yeah. Like her father, Roosevelt, is completely infamous, and I say that respectfully. Do you ever have moments, I gotta get Erica's opinion on this, do you ever get moments, Erica, where you're like, I'm just like Roosevelt?
Oh yeah, the light thing, I say all the time, like what's up with the lights? But I also, one time, I swatted my husband's hand before he opened the refrigerator door. It was so instant that I like did it, and then I took my own hand and I was like, oh, I am so sorry, because I was like, did you wash your hands? And he was like, what? And I'm like, I don't know. You came inside, you were outside the trash, and he's like, I went to the bathroom and washed my hands. I was just like, wash your hands. I don't know. Maybe I'm panicked. Maybe it's COVID.
I think she needs a little bit of Dr. Rick in her life. In fact, really quickly, Dr. Rick, before we get more from you, we want to check out another moment with some of your pearls of wisdom.
My parentology thoughts, I was coming up with so many of them, I thought, I don't need to just have this, the world should have it. So I just birthed it. you know, right out of me. Sometimes we have a victory, and I relish those.
Probably need a hacksaw at some point.
Nope.
But most of the time we don't.
So what does it take to get you into the Dr. Rick character? Do you have any rituals that get you in the right Dr. Rick headspace?
Well, I carry, yeah. Oh, well, there it is. This is what I hear in the makeup chair right before, yes, ta-da! Right before we glue on the beast. I call the mustache the beast. And you know, yeah, there he is. There's me and the beast.
Oh.
So yeah, we prep, we put on the mustache. I carry my comedy in my glutes and in my hamstrings. So there's some deep lunges, some hamstring stretches. And like I said, then once you know, Superman takes off his glasses, Dr. Rick puts on the stash.
You are hilarious.
Do you write this yourself, or is this how does it work? The writing of this, is it a collaboration?
It's Arnold Worldwide is the ad agency. They write some great stuff, but they also hire a bunch of us improvisers. So improvisers, I can talk. I'll get there. We cover the script and then we play a little bit, and then they go back in the editing bay and churn out what they churn out. So it's a fun process.
Wow. Yeah, they are lucky to have you because you have fully embodied this character, let me tell you. So, Bill, what do you think is some of the best advice Dr. Rick has given? And what do you guys, go ahead.
Oh, my best advice is the cell phone in public. I mean, I say in one of my books, it's a you conversation, not a we conversation. So we need to keep it that way. Just put the phone to the ear. Help us all out.
I love it. I love the one where he goes when you know this lady walks in. She's strange, obviously, and he's like, "We all see it. We all see it. Don't look." It's like so. It's
there
like
could be a movie.
It's everyday like common things that we all think in our heads, but it's like now it's become this woke culture that you're almost making fun of. I don't know. I love it. I appreciate it.
I want there to be a Dr. Rick movie.
Ooh.
I think that could happen. What do you think, Bill?
Look, I'm available. I'm ready to stretch and suit up. You know, it's just so funny that people have gravitated to these spots. If you would have told me that this campaign would get 10 million views on YouTube, I would have said you were nuts. I mean, Leslie Jones is tweeting about it. Eric Stone Street's tweeting about it. So it's pretty cool.
Well, there's something about it where we all just evolve into our parents. We all need a Dr. Rick. We do. Bill Glass, a.k.a. Dr. Rick, thank you so much for joining us. You are one of a kind, so funny, and I really hope that we can get a Dr. Rick movie somehow in the works. Thank you.
Hey, put it out there in the water. Thank you for having me. I enjoyed the show. You guys are great.
We'll be right back, everybody. Bye, Bill.
Bye.
Welcome back to DBL. More people are considering traveling this year after the pandemic, but put plans on hold last year. So we're searching, or sharing rather, the top search destinations on today's DBL Drive, sponsored by CarShield. One of the most searched destinations, Anchorage, Alaska, known for its outdoor activities, national parks. And another top spot is Key West, Florida, making it clear that men who want to just enjoy the sun, sit on the beach, and the #1 spot searched is the Virgin Islands, another sign that people are just looking to unwind. So when it comes to traveling for peace of mind, get an auto protection plan with CarShield. CarShield protects their members from the high cost of auto repairs. Call 1-800-505-9619 for a free quote. I cannot wait to travel again.
Girl, I am like, what am I going to do for my 40th birthday?
Honey, I know that feeling.
I know. We have the conversation, and you think like, it's a milestone birthday. I'm going to do this, and it's going to be big. And I'm like, I'm going to be at home.
I know.
I'm going to bring the Maldives to my house.
We can do that, Erica. We can figure it out.
Bring the Maldives.
You must miss traveling. You're quite the adventurer.
Yeah, I miss it. I miss it.
You are, though.
But with the kids, you know, it's tough anyways. But yeah, we're really looking to plan a trip, like everyone else, I'm sure.
I can't wait. We can just, come on, guys. We can get through this one day at a time. We'll be right back. Welcome back to DBL. Speaking of birthdays, before we go, I have to share something that happened this morning. Tori's birthday was earlier this week, as you know, but this morning we sent her a belated little birthday surprise. Take a look.
T-Bone, an admirer wanted to send you a little happy belated B-Day.
Hey, Tori, aka T-Bone. This is from Sam, Kelly, and Patty. This is your girl gang. And I hear that you are the funniest person that they know. And I want to wish you a happy belated 39th birthday. I know that you had a huge crush on me. I hope you still do. That actually makes me feel pretty good. Anyway, I hear that you are also the cat's meow, and I want to send you a big hug and lots of love on your 39th birthday. And you sure are loved by Sam and Kelly and Patty and Tori, aka T-Bone. Happy birthday.
Oh my God! Oh my God! That's the best gift ever! I never imagined I'd hear from the goat.
Tell us everything.
I just want to say thank you again. I would dream of kissing him like on my wallpaper for years, and then all of a sudden Steve Guttenberg called my name, T-Bone, and it was just, I can't thank you enough, you guys. It made my whole day. It made my year.
And your dog's reaction, they're like, what is happening to our mom? Why is our mom on the floor? Tori, you are so beloved. And yeah, the goot. The good old goot.
That was from all of us. That was from all of us.
DBL's new every day. We'll see you Monday, same time, same place. Bye, guys.
Wanted to send you a little happy belated B-Day.
Hey, Tori, aka T-Bone. This is from Sam, Kelly, and Patty. This is your girl gang. And I hear that you are the funniest person that they know. And I want to wish you a happy belated 39th birthday. I know that you had a huge crush on me. I hope you still do. That actually makes me feel pretty good. Anyway, I hear that you are also the cat's meow, and I want to send you a big
Heading out of town. President Trump's team is packing up his stuff and starting the move out of the White House. Now, 4 years later, what will life be like without him at the helm as Joe Biden prepares to take over? An Olympic swimmer is facing federal charges for participating in the Capitol riot. Should he lose his medals over this? Country music star Jennifer Nettles gives us the scoop on judging a new extreme talent show.
It is something that I have never been able to see in one place before.
What's it like sharing the stage with Snoop Dogg?
You got all of my attention now.
You know him from those funny Progressive insurance commercials.
Do we really need a sign to live, laugh, and love?
Yes.
The answer is no.
The man behind the perfect deadpan delivery of Dr. Rick is on our show today.
You woke up early. No one cares.
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to DBL. It is Friday, January 15th. I'm Sam here with Jeff and Erica. Tori joining us from home. Let's get right to it because in just 5 days, President-elect Joe Biden will be sworn in. And at the White House yesterday, take a look here. As the Trumps prepare to move out of the famous home, staff packed up boxes of documents and loaded them into moving vans. They were also seen taking this sculpture of Abraham Lincoln out of the White House, as well as this stuffed bird. Interesting. So in less than a week, President Trump will be out of office, and no matter which side of the aisle you are on, chances are we are not going to be seeing all of the colorful and controversial headlines that came with the Trump presidency. So the question is the country ready for a more typical politician? And how do you think life will change? I'd love to hear your comments, DBL Nation. Write in. We always love to hear from you. Erica, how do you think life will change?
You know, I think people are exhausted, to be quite honest. And I think the idea of a typical politician, it might be refreshing to some people. I just know no matter how much you are ready to fight, you only have so much fight in you. And I think it's time that we stop the fight.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be like people suddenly expect, you know, when New Year's strikes, their life is going to change for the year and everything's going to be better. I think people are thinking that with Joe Biden's presidency. Listen, I don't know what's going to happen, but it's definitely not going to happen on Wednesday, whatever it is. My question is to everybody is like, what are the American people going to do? All these people that spend hours on social media complaining to their friends, where is all that anger going to go, right? If Trump is gone, there's nothing to complain about. It doesn't mean you just let go and all that anger is gone and you don't spend time on social media. It's going to be redirected to another spot.
Right.
So where would, my guess, I'm scared to see where that's going to go.
I don't think he's going anywhere. And Tori, jump in here. Listen, I know that he's been silenced on most social media platforms. I think someone is going to give Trump a platform, or he will find a way to have a platform. When we saw those riots at the Capitol, Tori, we did not see thousands of people holding American flags. We saw thousands of people holding Trump flags. So I don't think he and his supporters are going to all of a sudden be silenced. I also don't think that we should expect this wonderful awakening when Biden comes into office. We still, all as constituents, need to hold Biden accountable to some of his campaign promises and some of his promises once he gets into office. But what do you think, Tori?
Yeah, it's not going to be a rosy glow. I totally agree. And Trump will create his own platform. Get ready for the Trump platform. He'll brand it himself, so don't worry about that. My big thing is, one, to me, the doom scrolling, I can stop for a little bit. If you guys don't know what that is, it's when you're just sort of addicted to Twitter because things happen now every 5 minutes, or there's another tweet or another problem or a scandal, and you get kind of addicted to that. I hope I can put that to rest. That's not healthy for anyone, and it makes me really anxious. The second thing, though, that's actually really good that happened, Sam, is people pulled back the curtain on politics and learned a lot. Voter registration is way up the political process people are involved with. People are now running. So in some ways, it inspired a lot of people to get involved with things that I'm nerdy about, but I didn't know anyone else was. So in some ways, that's a good thing.
Do you think there will be a new normal, or a normal that we were once used to a decade ago, or do you think that's long gone? Maybe because of social media, to Jeff's point.
Well, I agree with Tori. Like, we've seen The Wizard, so I don't think that we're going to go back. But I did think what Jeff was saying earlier was interesting, because I've always asked this question. A lot of people have, created platforms based on their support of an individual person, not the party. So if you are a person who has gone all in on this presidency, I've always asked, well, what will happen in 4, or if your best case scenario would be 8 years, because you've put your support behind a person and not the party or true politics. So that is going to be an interesting thing to watch for a lot of people.
Yeah, great points. I'm getting so many comments right now. I think we're going to have to go through them, and then perhaps in a couple of blocks, which I guess that's television talk, but soon I can read your comments. But I do want to go through them all because we were getting so many. Okay, so an Olympic gold medalist is in hot water. Cleat Keller, who you can see here in photographs from the Capitol riots last week, was even wearing his Team USA jacket. Yeah, he's also very tall, very, very tall, so people spotted him right away. Well, he turned himself into federal authorities yesterday and was charged with 3 crimes related to his involvement. Keller is a 3-time Olympic swimmer. He earned 5 medals over his career, including a couple of gold medals for Team USA. Now, some are saying if he's convicted, he should lose his Olympic medals. DBL Nation, we want to hear from you on this one. Do you think that's fair? Is that going too far, or is that the consequences that he should suffer? Go to dblvote.com. Tell us what you think. Jeff, what do you make of this?
You know, Sam, I could go either way with this. So whichever way you guys are going to go, I'll go the opposite. But I'll just start off on the opposite. If you take away his medals, that doesn't mean he did not earn them at the time, right? I just immediately go to O.J. Simpson. He won the Heisman Trophy in 1968. You could take away that trophy from him. You could take away that object, but ultimately he earned that trophy in 1968. So my question is, if you take away those gold medals, they're worth something. They're worth value. Who gets them? Does the government take them? And do you get paid back for what they're worth? Or I don't know how that works.
I have some inside baseball on this one. I don't think he knows where his medals are. So I swam with him.
Which is a problem.
Yeah. So
you swam with him.
I swam. Now listen, I swam for Team UCLA. He swam for USC during the same times. We were always around the same circle. I do not know him personally, but that swimming community at that level is very close knit, and you all know of each other. I could say it to that point. What I can lend is I know that after the Olympics, like many athletes, they lose their identity. They don't know what to do with themselves. And with him, it hit him hard. So within the swimming community, we all knew that he became homeless. We all knew that he lost his medals. Maybe he sold his medals. This is all just what I know from that community. This is not in any way, shape, or form trying to paint him in a sympathetic light. Let me get that clear. So I don't know if he knows where his medals are. I do know that he made a comeback, so to speak. A couple of years ago, he's in Colorado Springs, was a realtor. I did check in to see if he's still a realtor at that site, and he's no longer employed by them. So from what I would understand, it looks like they fired him or he resigned. He also just didn't turn himself into authorities. I should say that. It was his team members that I know, that turned him in. So when they saw that video, they knew exactly it was him, and his team members, people that knew him, turned him in. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, next time you got that kind of information, just dish it out. I just was babbling for no reason.
Your point is going back to your point, because that's what everybody's talking about today. Should he keep these medals? Listen, and I don't say this lightly, considering that I know all the blood, sweat, and tears it took for him to get those medals and to get to that level. I think he should have his medals stripped, considering that there's already a precedent, if there wasn't a precedent, right? So there's been athletes that have done far less than him that have had their medals stripped. So because there's a precedent, he should have his medals stripped. Also, when you look at that footage, Tori, he's in the rotunda and he's pushing back against law enforcement. So we all know what happened that day. We all know that officers lost their lives that day. So this is, there's got to be very, very, very stiff consequences.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because the people that are going to make the decision are the International Olympic Committee. I think I'm correct on that, Sam. And what's interesting is they're going to let us know if his medals do get stripped, what the global community feels about the Capitol riots. We haven't heard from the world, and this might be the first sense that the world is condemning them by stripping him of those medals.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Where do we go, though? Like, listen, I'm all for taking away those medals, right? I'm not putting up a case against it. But how far do we go with this, right? Do we go back in time with Oscars, Grammys, with everything?
Right. I think when we're really having this conversation, it's not about the actual physical thing. You know, it's not like any of us really know, like, well, I know it's not in his bookshelf anymore. You know, it's about the symbolism of the idea that he embarrassed his country. And not only did that act, but wearing the Team USA jacket.
Yeah, the USA. Yeah.
Like, it's such a smack in the face. If I was one of his teammates, I would have driven him to the FBI.
Yeah, he's been pretty disenfranchised for a long time, according to a lot of his close friends. So sad, really is sad, and I hope he faces the full prosecution of the law, because he deserves it. 52% of you believe that he should lose his Olympic medals. We love hearing from you, DBL Nation. Thank you. Oh, he should not. Wow, 52% disagree with us. Okay, you know what? That is A-okay.
It's par for the course.
Tori, don't go away. Coming up on DBL, Lori Loughlin's husband wants out of jail early. Are you kidding me? We'll tell you why. Plus, singer Jennifer Nettles is telling us all about her new competition show, Go Big, where supersized talent is king, and we've all been there, forgetting our password to an online account. But imagine if you had millions of dollars at stake. It's a real-life nightmare for one guy. We'll tell you all about it next. Many times every day. Well, here's the thing. It's turned into a very expensive problem for one man. Stefan Thomas says he had around $260 million worth of Bitcoin. The digital currency is stashed in a small hard drive, but here's the thing. He's forgotten the password to the device, and he only has 2 more tries to get it right before he loses access forever. It also means all that cryptocurrency would be wiped out clean.
Sounds like a Nicolas Cage movie.
Here's what he told NBC about it.
Just like lay in bed and come up with a new way to recover it, and then wouldn't work, and then I would try another way and it wouldn't work either. It's not like I barely don't remember it. It's there's no chance of remembering something that complicated from 10 years ago.
Wow. What would you do, Jeff?
First of all, here's what I would do. If I had $260 million in a bank, I wouldn't wait 10 years to check on it. I make a bet on my app that for $4, and I wake up in the middle of the night, I'm like, did I win?
But
so,
it just became really, really lucrative, right? So, and apparently with Bitcoin, you have 10 chances to crack this code. Think of it like a safe, because if you were to have some sort of call center to help you find your password, it would lose its value because it's currency. So you have to think of it like money and a safe. And if you lose that password, you're never going to crack into that safe.
Call the Russians. They're good at hacking stuff.
Well, no, but you're not supposed to ever tell anybody your password. There is no setup for it. You come up with the password, and then it never leaves you. Otherwise, you makes you vulnerable to hackers. But Tory, you get 10 tries. He's tried 8 times. He's got 2 more chances. 2 more. What would you do?
I guess, to be honest with you, and Al Jackson gave me this idea, I'd go to hypnotherapy. I would try to go back to the time and the smells and the songs of 10 years ago, maybe the thong song or something, and get into that mode and remember the password. Otherwise, I would just hate myself.
You're asking Tori opinions about remembering things?
Song.
Yeah.
How did that get in here?
What would you do, Erica?
Because 10 years ago. 10 years ago.
I get it, Tori. I get it. I would be despondent. I don't know how he even did the interview, because I feel like this is a sign. Just take me now, Lord Jesus.
I know.
What
he
in
must
the
have
world?
a ton of money. A ton of money.
Yeah.
Hey.
For to be like, 260 million, I mean, come on, I would lose my mind.
Can we go back to Tori for a second on hypnotherapy? Yes. Tori, why don't you go so you remember where your badge is every day?
Yeah, I should.
No comment. No comment.
Coming up on DBL, divorce pandemic style. Did Mary-Kate Olsen really call it quits with her husband over Zoom? And it's the competition show that's perfect escape for the new year. Jennifer Nettles tells Tori all about it, coming up next. Welcome back to DBL. You know Jennifer Nettles as one half of Sugarland, but the country music star is so much more. She acts, does Broadway, and now she's a celebrity judge for a brand new talent show. She told Tori about her newest gig earlier in today's Chatting with the Stars.
Joining us is the super talented Jennifer Nettles. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to Daily Blast Live. I'm super excited to talk about Go Big Show, but as a fan, I know you're outspoken about some current issues, and I just wanted to check in and see how you're holding up in this crazy week.
Yeah, it is a crazy week, isn't it? I mean, I think everybody during this pandemic, our lives have gotten smaller in some ways and super challenged in others. And to be able to watch everything as it unfolds, in many ways, it hurts your heart, to see what has been happening in this country. I hope that we can, get a vaccine rollout that is efficient and effective, so that we can all get back to doing the things that we love and focusing on positive things like Go Big Show, for example. And make the changes we need to make in the meantime.
Amen to that. All right, I love, first off, your new song with Bon Jovi, also about getting through the pandemic. 15 years ago, when you two first got together, you were just an up-and-coming star. What was it like this time around with Bon Jovi?
I think second time twice as sweet. He reached out to me and said, hey, would you like to join me on this song? And I heard the song and thought that it was perfect and so appropriate for where we are right now in the world, really, with the message being when you can't do what you normally do, everybody needs to do what they can to help each other. And so I loved the message of the song, and obviously we have a wonderful history of success together, so I was thrilled to be able to be a part of it with him.
So, living on a prayer. All right, Jennifer, tell me about the Go Big Show, all about it, and tell me about Snoop Dogg as a judge. I just want your inner take on that.
Yeah, I mean, look, first of all, the show itself is super exciting, really fresh and interesting. We have a ton of talent shows out there now that are really performing art space, that are great, but they're singing and dancing. This show is everything except that, and to the extreme on steroids.
How do you go bigger than that?
Am I next? It is something that I have never been able to see in one place before, and was thrilled to be able to have not only a front row seat, but sometimes participate as a judge. And then judges, yes, the whole panel is really fantastic, and such a fun and diverse group of people, starting with Snoop.
You got all of my attention now.
Rosario Dawson, Cody Rhodes, and then Burt Kreischer as the host. So I've described the panel sort of like this. It's like, if you remember the movie Breakfast Club, it's like everybody is super diverse personalities, right? But you totally go to Saturday Detention with these folks and have a blast.
If Snoop Dogg was in Saturday Detention, it would be an amazing time. I totally agree. Well, since the world's gotten smaller, I can't wait to watch Go Big Show. Jennifer Nettles, it has been such a pleasure. Please check out Go Big Show, airing Thursdays on TBS. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Monday on DBL, we honor the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., how far America has come, and the work still ahead, with special guests Cheryl Lee Ralph and Judge Mathis. That's Monday on DBL.
Welcome back to DBL. We love sharing your comments. Okay, so Maybell says, this is in regard to the swimmer, I think it would send a strong message if they stripped that swimmer of his medals. Dean said he should be able to keep his medals. He earned them. I understand that too, Dean. I really do. Sensitivity Training says, yeah, if Jeff ever does anything bad, he should be stripped of head of household.
Wow, Big Brother reference.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That happens too. That happens too. Listen, I've done bad things and I've had things stripped from me, right? It's consequences to your actions. It's life.
Yeah.
Amen to that. I've certainly been stripped of some things.
Tori, you want to add anything to that mix?
No, I just want to bring up the fact that it's not just the U.S. putting that medal and that consequence. That's really the global community saying we condemn this as a whole. So I think that's an important step maybe for healing.
Yeah, I hear you.
And I've been stripped of things too.
I don't know. You're pretty by the books, follow the law,
yeah, I'm
follow the rules type of a gal.
Story she wasn't stripped. She just lost them.
They're in your car underneath the seat.
They're around.
Yeah.
They're
everything you've been stripped of. Or like your necklace, it was actually in the carousel at my house. So,
yeah, Tori. We call her Tornado Tori on this show. Remember to watch DBL on Facebook or YouTube. You can chat with other viewers and with the host during the commercials, and we'll read your comments on TV. If you're sticking around, here's what's coming up on DBL. Lori Loughlin's husband has had it with prison life. Should he spend the rest of his sentence at home? And Mary Kay Olsen's Zoom divorce. Interesting. DBL's new every day. We'll be right back.
Is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to DBL. I'm Sam here with Jeff and Erica. Tori joining us from home. Okay, so Lori Loughlin's husband, Mossimo Giannoli, wants out of prison early. The fashion designer is currently serving 5 months in federal prison for his role in the college admission scandal. He's now asking the judge permission to serve the remainder of his sentence at home. According to his lawyer, Mossimo spent the first 56 days in the solitary confinement due to COVID restrictions. He's now been released to the general prison camp. His wife, Lori, spent 2 months in federal prison and was released shortly after Christmas. Erica, should Mossimo be allowed to serve the rest of his sentence at home, in your opinion?
Taking Mossimo out of it for a second, I would like to point out that 56 days in solitary confinement is a long time. A lot of people do consider solitary confinement to be cruel and unusual punishment. However, that being said, in this case, what he's essentially asking for is to be treated like the rest of the world, because we're all in home, you know, quarantine. So what's the difference between the average person and him serving his time at home? And it's interesting that because they decided to play this out for so long, that's how they ended up in the situation of being in prison during COVID. Had they just taken their punishment like Felicity Huffman did in the beginning, they would have been in and out and this wouldn't even be a thing. So he kind of brought it on himself.
Tori, you were chiming in when Erica was speaking. What did you want to say?
No, I just wanted to say, we all kind of joke about Operation Varsity Blues and all this and the 11 days and all that, but I strongly believe in abolishing solitary confinement for many psychological reasons, and 56 days can make someone have significant mental health problems. I think he should be in jail or confined, but I absolutely don't think, and I understand they needed to be, but at some point 56 days to me is torture.
Yeah, I agree with you. His lawyer stated, and I don't know how true this is because it's just his lawyer saying, but he went through, like, he's going through severe mental health, and he also was assaulted, I've heard, from his lawyer. But I don't know, I mean, if you compare the two, I don't know if he has bigger charges, but like Felicity Huffman served 12 days. He's 56 days in solitary confinement. If you do it just by their crime, I feel like he's done his time, but I don't know if there's bigger charges on him.
I disagree with you guys. I agree in the sense that I have so much empathy, and I think that solitary confinement is cruel and unusual punishment. Agree. However, there's inmates, the list goes on and on and on, that are also experiencing that, again, because of COVID. So the fact that we're all singling him out when there are others that have done far less egregious crimes than him who are also in solitary confinement because of COVID, why are we going to give him a pass?
They also released a lot of prisoners when COVID started. Remember, they let go a lot of prisoners with lesser crimes, and they're like, we don't, the jails, you know, the population's in jail.
I just don't want to
they let it go because the COVID outbreak was crazy.
I just don't want to see him get special treatment. He doesn't deserve special treatment. He should have to carry out his sentence just like everybody else. If they are going to release people to go home and serve their sentences at home that have the same type of conviction or charges as he does, then that's a whole different story. I just hope that he's not going to get special treatment because he can buy the money, can buy the best lawyer, and then I just don't think that's ethical nor fair.
56 days in solitary.
I know.
That's not special.
No, it's because of COVID. He's not alone.
Either way.
Right, but then who's advocating for the other inmates?
No, you're wrong.
Okay. Mary-Kate Olsen's divorce. Can you imagine Jeff and I fighting at home? Like,
I had nothing else to say, and I was like, I'm done here.
Okay. All right, so Mary-Kate Olsen's divorce was finalized over Zoom. Yeah, that's a sign of the times. The screenshot of the virtual hearing shows Mary-Kate in the middle, surrounded by her lawyers. Her ex, Olivia Sarkozy, is right below her. The image sparked lots of memes on Twitter, with one user saying this is the first time they have seen the former Full House star smile in years. Another person called the screenshot, quote, a stunning work of pandemic art. Mary-Kate and Olivier married in 2015. She filed an emergency order to divorce him back in May. And again, that was due to COVID as well, that emergency order, because she was like, I'm not going to be in the same household as this individual, but they kind of shelved it, saying that her circumstances for an emergency divorce did not warrant compared to other people's circumstances. Just a little backstory there. What do you make of this, Erica?
So I have a different perspective on court during COVID, because I've appeared in court a few times during COVID because my husband and I are court-appointed special advocates, so for the child welfare system. And I think that it's a very interesting way of, thanks, Tori. It's a very interesting way of conducting court. And it actually, what I found is you're able to follow along with the proceedings a little bit better because you're not in a big room with multiple cases going, forward. You also get a little bit more privacy because everyone doesn't necessarily sign in at the same time, so you're not overhearing court cases that don't necessarily apply to your case. So I think that for a lot of people, it might be a benefit that they're going to court during COVID because you're getting just a little bit more privacy and you can understand what's going on.
I like the Zoom
I prefer
thing,
it.
right? Like going to court, I don't know
no
why.
Thanks.
It makes me nervous.
Yeah.
You go in there, you go through a metal detector, you're like, do I still have my gun on me? And you don't even have a gun, but you're staring in there. It's nerve-wracking being in court.
Yeah, I'm all for the Zoom divorce hearing. Okay, so Tori, a video on TikTok is going viral after a man tried to clean his wife's makeup brushes. In the video, the man says he wanted to surprise his wife by cleaning the brushes. So he gets the idea to load them up in the dishwasher. There he is, putting them in one by one, while the final result was not pretty. Nope, they were ruined. Yeah, I saw like the whole video, and let me tell you, a lot of the brushes were without hair. And newsflash, and Tori, you know this, and so do you, Erica, makeup brushes are expensive. Yeah. Tori, did you ever have a moment with you and Brooks where you were trying to do something for him or he was trying to do something for you really nice and it was a massive fail?
Well, he did buy me a onesie. I've been really into jumpsuits lately. And he bought me a onesie for Hanukkah. And he bought me an ample size. I have ample body measurements. And unfortunately, it was from across the seas. And it ended up being, it wouldn't even go over my knee. And so I felt bad, fat, and sad.
Okay, all right, that was a fail. Erica, what about you?
I didn't have a really great one, but my husband is not a big social media guy, so I have to kind of pull his teeth to like take photos and stuff. So we were out shopping and we found our bedding. So I told him that we were going to do a pillow fight, and the lady was taking pictures, but he accidentally like whacked me in the face. So or maybe it wasn't an accident. I don't know. So yeah, and then the rest of the day he was like, "Are you like seriously? Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm fine. I'm fine." Look.
But you can't get mad at that cute face.
I know you can't. There's no way. What about you and Jordan? I feel like this happens all the time with you two.
Always, but one that sticks out to me is like when she's washing my clothes, which she belongs in the laundry room. Oh yeah, get them stirred up. Get them stirred up out there. No, because people are crazy. Jordan tweeted something the other day and she's like,
he's kidding.
I'm just kidding. Jordan tweeted something out the other day, or on Instagram, whatever it is. And she's like, Jeff's at home, I'm getting my nails done. I need a little break. And I took a picture and I sent it to her and she posted it. Everyone's like, that's his kids. It's not watching his kid. People were like crushing her. Anyways, I want to get to your story real fast. When we take turns doing the laundry, she doesn't believe in separating the whites from the colors.
What?
And it's so crazy. It's so racist, but it's so crazy. I can't say.
I would be so frustrated
Erica's
with that. Yeah. My husband.
There were so many things wrong with what I just said. Go ahead.
Oh, so my husband, bless his heart, he wanted to surprise me one day, clean up the whole house, do the dishes, and he's good with doing the dishes from time to time, but he does more other things, like the trash or fixing things. Like, we have our roles in the house. I'm more of the dishwasher person, although he would say I don't load it right. Anyways, he did the dishes. I come home to this. Yep. Put the wrong soap in. There was soap bubbles all over the kitchen. Let me tell you, that was just the beginning, folks.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And it took several rinse cycles to get rid of those soap bubbles. Yeah, we could have had a foam party in that kitchen.
Yeah.
But he tried.
He did try. And he does other things. Like, I could never fix the house like he does.
He does other things. Oh,
but apparently I don't load the dishwasher right. I don't like have it all perfect. Does that bother you? I feel like it bothers you if you just kind of throw it in.
Yeah, there's a lot of little things that bother me. I think me and Mark are on the same wavelength a little bit.
Yes, you guys are very particular the way you fold your clothes.
We're jerks.
And all that
just
stuff.
say we're jerks. We're jerks.
No, you're not. Tori, we will see you later in the show. Coming up on DBL, you know him from those hilarious Progressive commercials. The ones warning you against turning into your parents. We're chatting live with actor Bill Glass coming up next. Welcome back to DBL. Insurance commercials have become their own genre of TV comedy, but you can't think of an insurance commercial without Progressive's Dr. Rick. The parental life coach, Bill Glass, who brings Dr. Rick to life, joins us live. But first, let's take a little look at Dr. Rick hard at work.
Do we really need a sign to live, laugh, and love?
Yes.
The answer is no. I can help new homeowners not become their parents.
Kiana.
Nope.
Coey Noah.
No.
Joaquin.
No. It just takes practice. Give it a shot. Do you hear that?
Yeah.
It's a constant battle.
Hilarious. Bill Glass, a.k.a. Dr. Rick, welcome to DBL. So
thank you, guys.
We love you here. For a subject like insurance, let me tell you, it has some of the most clever and hilarious campaigns on TV. But you stand out. You do it well. Tell us about your character, parental life coach, Dr. Rick.
Thank you. Dr. Rick is a world-renowned parental life coach. He lectures, writes books. I have 2 best-selling books. When he's not on his speaking tours, he's a Renaissance man. He's a climber, a deep-sea diver. He's an adventurer. So he's not just, and you can see by my physique in the spots, they cast an athlete. So he brings a certain athleticism to the parentomorphosis field.
I love it. I love it. You could tell why he's good. You can tell why he's good. Was there ever a time in your life when you actually thought to yourself, you're like, whoa, I'm actually becoming my parents?
Oh, yeah. I caught myself walking through the house, turning off light switches, and I was like, do we have to have every light on? And my wife came around the corner, and she looked at me. She said, take a walk. Walk it off. I'm not marrying your father. I didn't marry your father. So walk it off. So I got sent for a lap after my moment.
I feel like all of us are struggling with that. I know Erica, her father is infamous on this show, Bill. Yeah. Like her father, Roosevelt, is completely infamous, and I say that respectfully. Do you ever have moments, I gotta get Erica's opinion on this, do you ever get moments, Erica, where you're like, I'm just like Roosevelt?
Oh yeah, the light thing, I say all the time, like what's up with the lights? But I also, one time, I swatted my husband's hand before he opened the refrigerator door. It was so instant that I like did it, and then I took my own hand and I was like, oh, I am so sorry, because I was like, did you wash your hands? And he was like, what? And I'm like, I don't know, you came inside, you were outside in the trash, and he's like, I went to the bathroom and washed my hands. I was just like, wash your hands. I don't know. Maybe I'm panicked, maybe it's COVID.
I think she needs a little bit of Dr. Rick in her life. In fact, really quickly, Dr. Rick, before we get more from you, we want to check out another moment with some of your pearls of wisdom.
My parentology thoughts, I was coming up with so many of them, I thought, I don't need to just have this, the world should have it. So I just birthed it, you know, right out of me. Sometimes we have a victory, and I relish those.
Probably need a hacksaw at some point.
Nope. But most of the time we don't.
So what does it take to get you into the Dr. Rick character? Do you have any rituals that get you in the right Dr. Rick headspace?
Well, I carry, yeah. Oh, well, there it is. This is what I hear in the makeup chair right before. Yes, ta-da! Right before we glue on the beast. I call the mustache the beast. And you know, yeah, there he is. There's me and the beast.
Oh.
So yeah, we prep. We put on the mustache. I carry my comedy in my glutes and in my hamstrings. So there's some deep lunges, some hamstring stretches. And like I said, then once you know Superman takes off his glasses, Dr. Rick puts on the stash.
You are hilarious.
Do you write this yourself, or is this how does it work? The writing of this, is it a collaboration?
It's Arnold Worldwide is the ad agency. They write some great stuff, but they also hire a bunch of us improvisers. I can talk. I'll get there. We cover the script and then we play a little bit, and then they go back in the editing bay and churn out what they churn out. So it's a fun process.
Wow. Yeah, they are lucky to have you because you have fully embodied this character, let me tell you. So, Bill, what do you think is some of the best advice Dr. Rick has given? And what do you guys, go ahead.
Oh, my best advice is the cell phone in public. I mean, I say in one of my books, it's a you conversation, not a we conversation. So we need to keep it that way. Just put the phone to the ear. Help us all out.
I love it. I love the one where he goes when you know this lady walks in. She's strange, obviously, and he's like, "We all see it. We all see it. Don't look." It's like so. It's
there
like
could be a movie.
It's everyday like common things that we all think in our heads, but it's like now it's become this woke culture that you're almost making fun of. I don't know. I love it. I appreciate it.
I want there to be a Dr. Rick movie.
Ooh.
I think that could happen. What do you think, Bill?
Look, I'm available. I'm available. I'm ready to stretch and suit up. You know, it's just so funny that people have gravitated to these spots. If you would have told me that this campaign would get 10 million views on YouTube, I would have said you were nuts. I mean, Leslie Jones is tweeting about it. Eric Stone Street's tweeting about it. So it's pretty cool.
Well, there's something about it where we all just evolve into our parents. We all need a Dr. Rick. We do. Bill Glass, a.k.a. Dr. Rick, thank you so much for joining us. You are one of a kind, so funny, and I really hope that we can get a Dr. Rick movie somehow in the works. Thank you.
Hey, put it out there in the water. Thank you for having me. I enjoyed the show. You guys
we'll
are great.
We'll be right back, everybody. Bye, Bill.
Bye.
People are wearing masks.
Welcome back to DBL. More people are considering traveling this year after the pandemic, but put plans on hold last year. So we're sharing the top search destinations on today's DBL Drive, sponsored by CarShield. One of the most searched destinations, Anchorage, Alaska, known for its outdoor activities, national parks. And another top spot is Key West, Florida, making it clear that men who want to just enjoy the sun, sit on the beach, and the #1 spot searched is the Virgin Islands, another sign that people are just looking to unwind. So when it comes to traveling, for peace of mind, get an auto protection plan with CarShield. CarShield protects their members from the high cost of auto repairs. Call 1-800-505-9619 for a free quote. I cannot wait to travel again.
Girl, I am like, what am I going to do for my 40th birthday?
Honey, I know that feeling.
I know. We had the conversation, and you think, like, it's a milestone birthday. I'm going to do this, and it's going to be big. And I'm like, I'm going to be at home.
I know.
I'm going to bring the Maldives to my house.
We can do that, Erica. We can figure it out.
Bring the Maldives.
You must miss traveling. You're quite the adventurer.
Yeah, I miss it. I miss it.
You are, though.
But with the kids, you know, it's tough anyways. But yeah, we're really looking to plan a trip, like everyone else, I'm sure.
I can't wait. We can just, come on, guys. We can get through this one day at a time. We'll be right back.
Promotional.
Welcome back to DBL. Speaking of birthdays, before we go, I have to share something that happened this morning. Tori's birthday was earlier this week, as you know, but this morning we sent her a belated little birthday surprise. Take a look.
T-Bone, an admirer wanted to send you a little happy belated B-Day.
Hey, Tori, a.k.a. T-Bone. This is from Sam, Kelly, and Patty. This is your girl gang. And I hear that you are the funniest person that they know. And I want to wish you a happy belated 39th birthday. I know that you had a huge crush on me. I hope you still do. That actually makes me feel pretty good. Anyway, I hear that you are also the cat's meow, and I want to send you a big hug and lots of love on your 39th birthday. And you sure are loved by Sam and Kelly and Patty and Tori, a.k.a. T-Bone. Happy birthday.
Oh my God! Oh my God! That's the best gift ever! I never imagined I'd hear from the goat.
Tell us everything. I just want to say thank you again. I would dream of kissing him like on my wallpaper for years, and then all of a sudden Steve Guttenberg called my name, T-Bone, and it was just, I can't thank you enough, you guys. It made my whole day. It made my year.
And your dog's reaction, they're like, what is happening to our mom? Why is our mom on the floor? Tori, you are so beloved. And yeah, the goot. The good old
that was from all of us. That was from all of us.
Keep us new every day. We'll see you Monday, same time, same place. Bye, guys.
I wanted to send you a little happy belated birthday.
Hey, Tori, a.k.a. T-Bone. This is from Sam, Kelly, and Patty. This is your girl gang. And I hear that you are the funniest person that they know. And I want to wish you a happy belated 39th birthday. I know that you had a huge crush on me. I hope you still do. That actually makes me feel pretty good. Anyway, I hear that you are also the cat's meow, and I want to send you a big...